Everyone has an opinion, but is it the right one? Well, from their perspective, it is. But that's the thing. It's their perspective of someone or something that they have formed, mostly with bits of actual truth. There's always two sides of the coin, and most of the time there's many more. Never has the tagline, "the news you want to hear," been so true. People with a certain perspective on someone or something are going to follow, listen, and watch the people and channels that have the same ideals on topics and issues as themselves. Why? Because if you think your opinion is the right opinion, why would you listen to something that contradicts that? Nothing feels better than being right. You know, the news you want to hear. But if you only get your information from one source or a group of like-minded people, you're not getting all the information. You're getting one side of the coin. And it's not always the right side. And the other side isn't always going to change your mind. But maybe, just maybe, you should listen. Because you may hear something new or see it from a different point of view. And you cannot form a true opinion with half or manipulated information. And that's the worst part. It happens all the time. Things are said, and then they're manipulated to be taken out of context to fit a narrative. Like this, for example. Brad, I sent you a text. Would you read this, please?
Happily. Mike's truck had broken down. The bed was being held down with duct tape. He needed a ride, and Dave was the only person that was around. He needed a ride. He was trying to get a job. He was screwed. If anyone could give him a hand, it was Dave. But Mike was too proud to ask. But to his surprise, Dave was happy to help and said, "Don't ever be afraid to ask for help from me. I would happily do it again."
Now let's hear that from my perspective.
Mike was trying to get a hand job, and Dave was the only person that was around. Mike held down Dave with duct tape. Dave was screwed. But to his surprise, Dave was happily asking to do it again.
But there are also simpler examples of perspective. Like some people think Dave looks like Al Ballin, and others would say a gigantic Alf. But that's their perception of a giant hairy man in a flannel shirt. Same goes for Brad. Some would say he looks like Sam Eagle from the Muppets. Or he sounds like a baritone Stephen Hawking. But that's their perception of a guy with large eyebrows and a monotone voice. Then there's Mike. Some would say he looks like Wolverine, if he drowned and soaked up 3 weeks worth of water. And that's their perception of a guy with a Hugh Jackman beard and a huge jackass face. And I won't leave myself out of this. Some would say I look like the ideal version of a man. A tad short, but stunningly handsome. And they'd be right. But let's not dwell on this any further. Maestro, hit that music.
Hello and welcome to Needless to Say. I'm here with three fucking big time clowns. Fucking
Well, all right.
Brad, Craig, and Dave. What's going on, bros?
So glad I joined the show.
Right? Yeah.
Let me expand my portfolio, he said.
If it wasn't for these taquitos, I'd be out.
The taquitos, man. Those fucking things are killer. Hey, put that. Is that the last one?
Fat kid ate the last one. Suck it.
Yeah, fat kid.
Kid ate the last one.
You gotta be more specific around this table, bro. When you're talking about fat kids.
Everybody knows it's not me.
Don't even, kid. Don't.
We have the TV, the table, the recording equipment, all that on the right side of the room, and Dave and Mike on the left.
Yeah, this foundation ain't so fucking sound, you know what I'm
Craig's
saying?
neck moai is sitting in the back.
Neck moai. Oh, shit.
In fucking Easter Island head. It's not that fucking big, man.
Jesus Christ. Guys, so what the fuck's been going on? How was everybody's week? How was your week this week, Brad?
I was excited to hear that Craig's neck thing is picking up shit from Mars.
Yeah, I heard it's actually part of the SETI program now.
Fucking dick.
It's a skin label. It just went past skin tag.
We had a
It's a label. nibble. It's not a tag. Oh my God.
See, we were told this week that we had a blood moon eclipse, but it was just Craig turning left.
Oh my God.
You fucking dickhead.
Oh shit.
But yeah, my week was good, Mike. Thanks for asking. I'd like to take this opportunity while you guys chuckle it out. I was thinking of tipping my cap in a decided change of pace for me. I'd like to tip my cap to the New England Patriots.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big move for all of us.
I don't wear caps.
That hurts. You're from New York.
Yeah,
That hurts to say.
Yeah, but that's the thing that pisses you guys off the most is when us New Yorkers say, "Hey, congratulations."
Yeah. Now I'm nervous.
No, we're like, go beat everybody else. You just can't beat us.
Yeah.
That said, I do think that Tom Brady, who had a hell of a game, Tom Brady and the Patriots should be playing the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, they
Guaranteed.
should. Without a
Oh
doubt.
my God.
You want to
what
have a
blow.
quarterback battle, then you put him up against the best quarterback in the league. That is not what's happening next week. Jared Goff, hat tip, nice job.
No, great
Good
season.
You ain't there yet.
No.
No.
No, but what the fuck? That's what experience is all about. You gotta be in those. Look at Ben Roethlisberger. The first fucking year that he started, he won the Super Bowl. You gotta have that.
And the second year, he raped a girl in the bathroom.
Yeah. Then the year after that, he won another one.
There was a good chance he looked at that rape as a bigger victory.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Experience.
Steelers.
Now he's getting away with a lot more of them.
Go fucking Steelers. Hey, I'm a Steelers fan, man. I'm just glad that the fucking Steelers finally beat your fucking
I'm not a
asses
Steelers
this week.
fan, and I really want to know why Antonio Brown wants out so bad.
Right?
Yeah, all divas want out, man. That's fine. He'll be playing. I hope to see him playing for the Patriots. That would be awesome.
Nah, he's
won't.
That would
he's
be awesome.
still kind of in the prime of his career. It's not going to happen.
Oh yeah.
But you mentioned the best quarterbacks. I think the four that we saw this last weekend were probably the top.
Good representation
Yeah.
of all four.
Absolutely.
On all four teams
was-
of great quarterbacks.
There was a lot of talk about Mahomes and Brady, like Mahomes, the future of the league, which I don't think anyone can dispute.
yeah.
Mahomes is there; he's that guy. But we've
The kid's
talked
a
about
real
it.
deal, man.
He is and then there's Tom Brady, just keeps winning, and he doesn't do it flashy like Mahomes. I think that's where people get hung up.
I don't see how he's flashy. He creates opportunities where other quarterbacks
Because he
wouldn't
can
find them.
move.
I see that a lot of quarterbacks in the league automatically tossing certain passes to the side. And Mahomes is seeing opportunities to throw sidearm, and he's doing some things. The no-look stuff I could do without, that's more of an NBA thing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, is it a bad idea if it's working?
No,
if it's
maybe
working,
he creates
do it.
opportunities where these other guys just take them.
Well, I mean, Tom Brady, let's face it, the guy hasn't moved left or right in his entire career.
He hasn't had to.
He hasn't had to.
Yeah.
But he also has no lateral movement whatsoever.
No, he has
But he hasn't
bricks.
had to have
His
it.
He
feet
didn't
are
have
like
it in Michigan.
cinder
He
blocks.
doesn't have it.
No, he's never had it.
He's had
time.
pocket protection in the biggest way.
No, he just needs to go home and worry about that front to back.
He looks like he looks like somebody
Mike, that was
that's
a sex
running
joke.
away. He looks like somebody that was running away from a mob dude that was trying to fucking send him into the river with fucking
Cement
shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't run.
Get me out of
It
here.
looked like he was running with the cement shoes. You ever see that
Yeah,
guy scramble?
exactly.
He's like, run, Forrest. Like, his legs are all flopping out to the sides. He's like,
Probably old Giselle's family that's doing that to him.
Yeah, no
But-
shit, right?
Did you ever
but he
see a
hasn't
kid-
had to.
No.
That's
No.
why. I mean, he's been how many years now? 17?
18.
18. 18 years in the league. He just broke 1,000 yards rushing
Rushing.
this season.
Right? Mike broke that 2 years ago.
That average, I figured it out.
Hold on. Wishful thinking, brother. Wishful thinking.
Okay, rushing to the men's room is not the same as
And I
rushing
played
forward.
football in high school.
It was funny. I actually figured it out. It was 3.2 yards per game is his rushing average.
That's not bad. For Tom Brady.
That's not bad for Mike.
Per game.
Wait, is that from a standing position or is that on the couch and getting up? And
Wait, that's for Mike, whose couch is next to the fridge.
Yeah, not like per carry or per rush.
Per game.
Per game.
yeah.
That was his rushing
Well,
average.
what the fuck? And what does that go to say? You don't
He doesn't
need to
have
fucking run.
He didn't have to.
Yeah.
You
That's
can
the
actually
key.
look at Tom Brady's rushing career in time-lapse photography.
And he walked like 10 feet throughout his career. He's just like...
All I know is there's a
1,000 yards.
bunch of goats out there that are moving around going, hey, what the fuck?
Why is he stealing our thunder?
Is that a goat dad joke? Is that what you're having?
Goat dad joke.
God.
No, but I mean, it was a crazy season because in the beginning too, everybody said Patriots
Wrote
are
them
done.
off.
Wrote
Done.
them off, and I did too.
And,
I thought they were
everybody
done.
said that that Pittsburgh and Minnesota were going to be up there too.
Yeah,
And it
that didn't
totally
happen.
You know, it's
fucking
crazy
did
that
not
Mike
happen.
continues to bring up the not in the playoffs Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
Okay,
Why is it crazy? I'm a fucking Steelers fan.
Okay, but drop it.
You
Just
keep
fucking
bringing
drop
up fucking the... Okay.
the Giants who beat the Patriots. That's why it's relevant.
yeah.
The Steelers beat the Patriots
Okay,
also.
I tell you what, when we talk about rape later, we'll bring up the Steelers.
Okay, just let me know.
We have the
for
Catholic
it.
Church on our menu.
all
We're
for
good.
Gotta love the outline.
Father Roethlisberger.
Ben's not Catholic. Come on, there's no priest out there that can fucking see the top of his head when he's. He's a tall motherfucker, man. He is a tall motherfucker. There's
No, but his
way.
chin has two clefts in it.
Yeah. All right.
No, but I think I mean, I hope it's a good Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it blow. I hate
Nobody wants to see a blowout.
I hate those games.
No.
Because last week, even with the blown calls, was probably two of the best
Yes.
fucking playoff
Yes.
games I've ever
Games,
on a
yeah.
playoff weekend. You know, a championship weekend.
Yep.
Probably
Two
the
overtime games.
Best games I've ever watched.
We got short-term memory. They weren't some of the best games. The blown calls
No.
played a huge role.
Huge.
They did
Brad,
when they happened.
huge.
So in the Saints-Rams games, there was a minute or two left in the game. Up until that point,
But what a way to squash a fucking great, fucking couple of hours of watching a great game to fucking right at the end of the
I don't
game,
disagree.
each game too.
I don't disagree.
Right?
But up until that, if you look at the totality of a game,
Yeah, it was great.
58
It was
out of
awesome.
60 minutes was fucking amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
And you go back to the Patriots-Chiefs game, same thing. Everyone goes back to that phantom roughing the passer call,
yeah.
Yeah. I
right?
know.
From and one of the I think it was one of the commentators, Gene Steratore, whoever he is, said, well, from that official's perspective, he
That's
sees the
what you
helmet
see.
move and the guy's arm in front of it.
Yeah.
He's making a call. All right, I get it,
And
but
that's why they get together and make,
yeah. So I think
That's
in
how it goes.
that Patriots game more than the other one, that call happened. I want to say it was early in the fourth quarter. There was still a lot of football that got
Yeah,
played after that.
yeah.
A lot of scoring, so didn't have as much of an impact as the other game, but they had a big impact and they shouldn't.
And it should, yeah. I mean, I was watching that game and watching Mahomes coming back from a and I'm like, ooh, he's gonna pull a Tom Brady on Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, yeah, that was exciting.
That's what I was
Yes.
I'm like, holy shit, he's
Right.
gonna do it.
Here's this 22-year-old kid that just fucking came out of nowhere.
And you could see in the first quarter, the first half, he was rattled, nervous. That was a lot of pressure.
Sure.
First season as a starter.
So what do you guys think this kid's gonna fucking repeat next year of what he did this year?
Yeah.
I think
I
he'll
don't
be
know,
he'll
man.
be
Real deal.
he'll be consistent. He'll keep
I
that
haven't,
team at a high level.
I haven't been up to speed on how the team itself is going to look next year, who they have, and who's going to be gone.
They're gonna be
but-
good.
Yeah, Kansas City's
we'll
biggest
see.
hurdle is Andy Reid, who
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah, no
your
shit.
grandfather standing in line waiting for his bakery order, and everyone keeps getting called in front of him.
Yeah.
He's getting madder and madder, but nothing changes.
Yeah. It's like
Looks
Wilfred
like- looks
Brimley's
like-
calling the
I was
plays.
just gonna
Yes,
say. I was just gonna say, should be doing a diabetes commercial.
It was the same
That
deal.
was
with-
my Facebook post this week. It
Yeah.
was just diabetes.
Kid, no
he had
way,
the same
that's
rap
awesome.
with the Eagles.
Yeah.
He took him to the championship, was 3 or 4 years
Yeah.
and
Can't
couldn't
get him
get
over
to
the
that
hump.
point.
Couldn't, yeah.
They had the
just
worst
can't-
defense in the league.
And he's
Yep.
been married 9 times.
That should fucking tell. That should be like, you know what I mean? If you're gonna hire a coach, you've been married 9 times. Nah, you're probably not the right guy for this. You know?
You can't finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck?
Either that or you peak mid-season.
If you ain't got it
He
right
looks
by
like
now,
a more of a
you really
you
don't
can't
want
start
to.
kind of guy. But that's just
Well, yeah, if you can't get out of the gate, that's just as bad.
Mike, is that what that looks like?
That does look like that. Except I got rid of the mustache. Except I got rid of the mustache.
The football, though, there was a lot to say about all the blown calls and stuff, but
Yep. There was.
there,
Go ahead.
there was one person that had a lot to say about football this week. That was
Oh,
the
yes.
Iron Sheik.
And it wouldn't be a needless to say episode if we didn't reference the Iron Sheik. So, if you'll indulge me,
No, yes.
let's start off with January 20th. Good night, football. Go fuck yourself.
I think most of the country would agree with that after those
Yeah.
calls,
Yeah,
right?
It was
Yep.
all after the same game. And,
Yep.
The Tom Brady, the Iron Sheik of the football.
For those taking notes, that was all the same tweet.
Yeah, that wasn't 3 tweets.
No, it was all one.
Then they have Mahonis have the cojones.
Who knew the Sheik was trilingual?
And then apparently pregame, Iron Sheik had some opinions about Mahomes.
Yes.
And he said the real Patrick always be Swayze.
Sheik rocks. I love the Sheik.
He also has
That's
some
fucking
thoughts
funny.
about the refereeing, which
Oh, I can imagine.
we could discuss for hours. But he goes, swear to Jesus, I suplex every ref at the same time on their head. The suplex part isn't that funny, but this is an Arab.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Okay, and
shit.
he's swearing to Jesus.
Thanks, Brad. I didn't even think of that. One. That's fucked up.
But I think ultimately, the one thing we can all say about Tom Brady, about football, about anything, the Iron Sheik summed it up the best. Win, lose, or the draw, Tom Brady have the sex tonight.
I love his overuse of the word "the." He just slaps it attached to everything. It's the best.
I also
love
love that he's still more literate than most of the Americans reading.
It's funny. Craig was nodding like, yeah, what was wrong with that sentence?
Totally
I
about
smoked the pot.
I'm on the pot.
Hey, win, lose, or the draw.
Oh, shit.
My prediction, Patriots take it, and Tom Brady does not retire.
You don't think,
I'm
you think
with
he's
you.
going to do another season?
Well,
Yep.
because I don't think there's any
done.
drama involved with this.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think there's a level of drama that he requires and that he
Yes.
should have handled when he made the greatest comeback in the history of football, much less the Super Bowl.
and just
Yeah.
That could have been a
Yeah.
curtain call.
If you literally said, I am never going to top this game, when they beat the Atlanta Falcons, for those who don't watch football, everybody up here knows this game. If you walk out of that game and say, instead of saying, you should say, I'm retiring and going
Yeah.
to Disney World.
Yeah.
And that's it, because you'll never top that. You will never top that. And he
Well,
didn't
you
do
know
it.
what? Maybe he thinks he can. We'll see.
What does he have to do? Spot them a 91-point lead? At
Yeah.
this
How do
point?
you?
see.
Yeah. You
We'll
cannot.
see.
You couldn't possibly.
You know
top
Rams
how,
are a
that.
you know
great
how
team,
you
man.
top it is you fucking destroy that team and don't fucking give them a chance to fucking score. Their defense needs to fucking bring.
He's still going to
come
be
up here.
back next year. I think he plays till he's 45.
Yeah,
That's-
I think he wants that
you know what?
number 6 ring is what he wants. He wants
Yeah.
to be able to
Yeah.
say, no one else has done it.
Yep.
There's no chance they're going to do
Well,
it.
no one's
That's
done
it.
what he's done now. Never mind.
I
No
agree,
one's
but
done
no one gives him
5.
credit for it.
See, but is there? You say there's no chance that anybody will ever do it. That's it. That it's
a bold
becoming
statement.
more and more possible now.
No,
because of the
We're talking about history now, man. Football
Yeah.
can go on for fucking decades and
Yeah,
centuries,
exactly.
so
And
it's
in
gonna
another
happen.
10 years, the quarterback will be in a fucking cage,
Right,
in
and
the
it'll be
back.
so
with the
much
fucking
easier to
thing.
do
You
it.
don't even have to
Exactly.
touch a guy,
Right.
So the guy can play till he's fucking 75,
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the thing. The reason why Tom Brady is still playing right now, I mean, I'm not knocking him for his ability or anything like that. He wasn't taking a beating like Joe Montana,
Yep.
and Dan Marino.
It's not just
and
that,
even
though.
before that, those guys are every play.
Oh, yeah.
those
Yeah.
guys were on their back, getting up, taking a pounding
he's
because
smart.
you could fucking hit the fucking quarterback
All right.
helmet to helmet.
Yeah.
And nobody
He's a
gave a
full
shit.
package
Football hasn't
quarterback, man.
changed. I know there's a lot of jokes about my guy, but Eli Manning spent half his season on his back.
Oh no,
He spent more time on his back than Jenna Jameson.
He spent
I mean,
three-quarters of his offseason on his back, too.
And that's why they're not in the fucking playoffs.
without the full weight of the defender on top of him, without being driven into the ground.
How the fuck do you know how much weight he's taking?
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
No,
You
but what
don't.
I'm saying is
That's
they
fucking
you
stupid
can't lay a hit onto. Watch Lawrence Taylor fucking sack a quarterback.
Are you
I
kidding
have.
me?
Yeah, no, I know. But
Fucking
what I'm
Lawrence
saying is,
Lawrence Taylor, after most of his fucking hits, had to pull the quarterback out of the ground.
Yeah, it's like watching
yeah,
police.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's
And
like watching
nowadays,
police
it's
body
like,
cam
oh
video.
My God,
Yeah.
he's gonna go to
For
jail.
the
if
record,
he
that
did
was only because Joe Theismann's leg was in.
Yeah, it was like a
Stuck
tent
in it.
stake.
But what the fuck, man? Yeah,
His tibia was
rules-
stuck in Lawrence Taylor's calf.
Yeah, rules and but
And I'm
you
not
can't-
knocking it.
You could definitely not. The thing about Tom Brady is he takes care of himself like no other player ever did.
And his team takes care of
And
him.
His body's a
and
temple. He
most-
puts Uggs on his feet.
And you think about it, and if you guys think about it, just think about it. All the past big time quarterbacks, like big hard name quarterbacks, really didn't do that. They would just
Joe
like
Montana
fucking-
wore a fucking mink coat on the sidelines.
Yeah. That's not. I'm talking about
No,
taking
not Joe.
care
I'm
of
sorry.
himself.
No.
That was fucking
Joe Namath.
Joe Namath, yeah.
Joe Namath.
The other
He's wearing
Joe.
mink coats and shit.
That was before he tried to hit on Susie Colbert.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I want to.
I want to kiss you.
I would say I couldn't imagine Joe Montana doing that.
No
Yeah.
way.
No.
Yeah. But you're right. The game's changed, but at the same time, all the other quarterbacks in the league are playing in the same rules.
Yeah.
So it's a level playing field, for lack of a better phrase.
Listen,
But
he's
all I'm
older.
saying is, all it's done is extended the career
Yes.
of a quarterback's ability to play.
If
is
you play it
extended
by
because
the way
of
he
this.
does it.
Yeah, not
know?
everybody can be Vinny Testaverde.
Yeah.
Right. And play
What, greasy?
just
and
play till
fucking-
they're irrelevant.
Greasy but
what do you-
enduring.
but what
Yeah,
is
but
that?
enduring, yeah.
Like you know you're old when Morton Anderson's like, dude, it's time to call it quits.
Yeah.
If you're a young quarterback, what he's done is really open up a playbook on how to be a quarterback nowadays and how to extend your career to the fullest.
You can play for 25 years if you only played in 6 games.
Well, he gets rid of the ball quick. He doesn't want to get. He doesn't get hit. He fucking got his knee busted up pretty bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't blame him for getting rid of the ball when there's a fucking 3.
No,
four,
but
Think
five
of it like
guys
it's like
running
it's
at
like
you.
when Tiger
gotta
Woods
do
got
it.
popular.
There was
He made
I
golf
mean-
for his athletes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
There was the John Daly's disappeared,
Disappeared, yeah.
right? And the John Crooks of baseball disappeared. These guys are athletes now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Tiger did it for golf. Mike's point, I think,
So
is
it's-
Tom Brady's doing it for football in that
Yeah.
position, where it's not
Exactly.
just, hey, I'm a pretty guy that can throw the
Changing
ball,
the sport.
Yeah.
right?
is what
It's
he's doing.
different.
Yeah.
I get it.
I think when you go home to Giselle and can fuck her on a pile of cash,
I
I think you find a way to stay in shape.
know. Yeah, he's bored, man. If you ask me,
Blueberry
he's
smoothie
like
doesn't
football.
sound that
Yeah,
bad.
it's football. Man.
I didn't see Jeff George banging anybody with his fucking
I think he
mullet.
just maybe he just doesn't get along with fucking Giselle. Maybe he just doesn't get along with her. Like,
they're
fuck
business
you,
partners.
bitch. I'm gonna go in the back and fucking practice some football, you know, and that's how they
Business
go.
partner.
Nah, he's-
yeah, they mash their business 3 times a
He's
week.
gonna he's determined to go out as the GOAT.
He wants
Gayest
to.
of all time, yes.
he's gonna fucking seal the deal.
That's it.
He's not gonna
He
just
ain't gonna
beat-
seal jack shit. He's gonna get his ass beat. This is what I'm saying. 31-33, they go down. Tom Brady cries again on live TV.
No way. No way. I'm gonna say this.
Come on,
Get
come on,
out.
high five me, Dan.
No,
Come on,
it's
dude,
not.
it's gonna happen.
I'm gonna say this. 7:33 p.m. Mike goes down.
Wait, what time's the game on? What time's the game on?
6:30. I gave you an hour and 3 minutes.
Let me see. Eat
No.
food.
I'm going to say 5:12 p.m. Mike comes out of the bathroom pantsless and tries to explain that he didn't understand the tuck rule.
And this is different from any other night. How?
I got sacked.
Oh, this is gonna happen.
Yeah,
Super
anybody
Bowl
behind
night
him
too,
got
so what?
Carpet got sacked all the way from the bathroom to the fucking couch.
It was like an ass rubbing train on the fucking carpet. Me and my 2 dogs.
It's not even that warm in here.
Mike fucking crop dusts the entire buffet, and he calls it the zone defense. By the way, my week was excellent. Thank you.
I can tell. I can tell. I can fucking tell.
All right, Dave, how was your fucking week?
I can't follow.
I'm gonna
that.
walk away
doing
for
a
15
fucking-
minutes.
We just talked about Mike dragging his sack across his lawn, his living room.
And go.
God, my week has been kind of boring. All I had was weather, and Mike was
I know.
busting my balls. He's like, "Dude, you can't just talk about the weather." And I was like, "Hey, man, I thought that's what old people like to do. Why are you mad?"
yeah.
Fuck you, asshole. Fuck you, dickhead.
I mean, it got cold here, right? It was cold, like
It was cold as shit.
It was cold, like
freezing.
Brad talking about Chris Cornell. Cold, it was cold.
I took my dog. I took my dog out at 4 a.m. on Monday morning,
That's in the morning, Mike.
and
A.M. What the hell does A.M. have to do with morning?
Mike's like after
Hey,
meatloaf.
morning.
not ATM. Mike.
Does it mean
AM.
Does it mean A morning?
What does 4 after meatloaf mean?
4 after meatloaf.
I don't care about the 4. I don't care about
I
the
took my
people.
dog out at 4 a.m. and it was fucking brutally cold.
Like
it was like
three.
-6. I think.
Yeah, it's the cold
at
where you
that point.
spit and it freezes before it hits the deck.
It
Yeah.
was instantaneously. I walked outside and I didn't have gloves on. I had a winter coat. I was like bundled up, so I was okay to be out there for a few minutes.
Oh, thank
But
God.
my hands, immediately, my skin started like burning.
It hurts.
Yeah, I was like, it's burning.
Yep.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
We
So
fucking live in New England, kid. You know this happens every year, right?
But
Not
it wasn't.
really.
It wasn't that.
Yeah,
Like the
it
cold
really
is one
does.
thing, but
At
2
least
days
1 or 2
later,
days.
it was 60 degrees warmer.
Yeah.
2 days later.
Living in this state is like malaria.
My backyard was like a sheet of ice.
Yeah.
And then that next day when it was warm, it was like a pool. And my dogs were back there fucking just running around.
But in
kicking
any
up
other
mud. They were
state,
all
people
mud.
would be just dancing in the streets. Hey, it's warm, but no, everybody here is like flooding.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
all it's been. There is no appropriate weather for this state, and yet we all choose to live here.
yeah.
And I
Like,
moved
I've-
from out of state to be here. I didn't. I'm not even a native.
Yeah.
I made a conscious decision to end up
It's-
here. And then I just
matter.
signed a 30-year mortgage to ensure that I enjoy this.
You got
fucking-
yourself a beautiful home, which I am yet to fucking go in
Well,
and see.
your
but
opinion of not seeing my
I'll
home
be
is
there
really
tomorrow.
meaningful. Thank you.
my thing is,
I'll
there's
come by
not
with
many.
a shovel when it snows. How's that?
There's not many choices. It's either earthquakes, tornadoes, fucking
Yeah, we have the lesser of
super
the.
hurricanes,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
fucking some cold, fucking shitty weather.
Yeah.
I know we've got security cameras in the house. I could actually see the flu floating around the living room. So it was a short week for me, right? And I didn't know I've been obsessing about this when we talk about how our week was. I feel like I've just been shit in the bed, and I was like, what do I talk about? What do I do? And then
So I shit the bed.
Well, I know. Well, that's what I was getting to. My wife got pissed. She had to change the sheets. No, but so we're watching TV and it hits me. The new Chantix commercial starts.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
Now I'm not talking about Ray Liotta looking like a dirty sponge in the sink kind of commercial, right?
Wicked bad, dude. He looks
So-
so terrible.
Apparently Chantix wised up and they said, all right, we don't want this guy promoting quitting smoking because he looks like he just quit meth.
Yeah.
Right? So they decided to go with
Quit
it.
smoking, but I'm working on meth.
Yeah. So they went with an animated turkey who apparently
Are you
has
fucking serious?
apparently has less of a gizzard than Ray Liotta. So that was my
haven't
week. That
seen
kind of
it.
summed it up.
I haven't seen that.
No,
Oh my
it's just
God.
happy, purpley looking turkeys, all
like,
right.
hey,
Oh,
Yeah,
take some drugs, quit smoking.
It's so much Ray Liotta. Like I got replaced by.
I want to be in the Chantix marketing department. Everybody there is like, we got to get rid of Ray.
Yeah, we'll get a turkey in
All
there.
right, is fucking Nick Nolte available? No.
We can just
All right,
cipher
let's
right.
animate a turkey.
Gary Busey. get Gary Busey in here.
Yeah. Wait. Just burn this beehive and put some eyes on it.
You
That'll
really
work.
want to get people to quit smoking? Put all three of them in a fucking commercial. Say we smoke. That's all you gotta do. Dude.
That's it.
That's all you gotta do.
We're three
Right?
smokers.
We smoke. you want to be like us?
I'm out.
Yeah.
Done.
I'm out.
Smoking got
Right?
us
I'll quit
outclassed
today.
by a paper turkey.
All you've done is ruin Thanksgiving worse than my vegan wife. Now, every time a turkey crosses my path, all I'm going to imagine is a fucking Marlboro Medium hanging out of his fucking mouth.
And Gary Busey.
And then Gary Busey chasing it, trying to, get into a meaningful dialogue.
Bite it
about
with his
Trump.
horse teeth.
He's gonna have all butts in his fucking hair. Fucking
With his horse teeth. He just misses with his overbite. The whole cigarette still between his
That
top
guy's
teeth and his
got
bottom teeth.
fucking 87 teeth just in the top row. Like, what the fuck?
He's fucking.
man?
He
It
is
looks like a
fucking- he's
fucking
funny
piano, like a
bastard,
keyboard.
He's a fucking weirdo motherfucker.
If I'm
funny
Ray Liotta.
motherfucker. I love him.
I'm Ray Liotta right now. I'm sitting at home firing my agent. Because
You should be firing your
I
plastic
was in
surgeon. Is
Goodfellas.
what you should be doing.
I was in Goodfellas.
It's like, Karen!
Yeah.
Karen!
You should be firing your plastic surgeon if you
Well,
follow
that too.
him.
I mean, the guy does look
Definitely.
like a fucking wax statue on a hot day.
Yeah, yeah.
Cigarettes kept melting his
He looks
upper
like
lip.
he was taped to a fucking 747's
But
wing.
if I'm Ray
fucking for
Liotta
years.
and I was in the greatest movie of all time and I just got replaced in a smoking commercial by a turkey.
Cartoon turkey.
Yeah, cartoon
one.
turkey.
Like a real one would be any better, right?
Yeah,
It would probably be worse, actually.
the one that got pardoned by the president at the beginning of the year.
Seriously, why stop there? Why not like a voodoo doll? A fucking stacking thing from Russia. Where there's like,
Yeah, those fucking dolls there, yeah.
Who's the intern at Chantix that got the call from Jim Purdue and was like, I got an idea.
that turkey shit's taking up too much of my chicken profit. We're gonna bury that industry right now, and it all starts with Ray Liotta.
Get that
Like,
charcoal off your
tagline
screen.
like, don't be a turkey. Quit smoking now.
Oh my God, what the fuck? What the hell is in store for Ray Liotta now after being replaced by a
Don't be a
fucking cartoon
turkey.
turkey?
What's in store for
They'll
Ray
play it
Liotta?
after homeroom every week.
Yeah.
I think next year when we're watching the next slate
Good
of
turkeys.
Hallmark Christmas movies,
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ray Liotta is
He's
going
gonna be the bad guy.
business executive from Chicago who comes home for the holiday and didn't realize that he could still had the ability to love.
Yeah. Didn't spend time with his kids, you know?
Or Ray Liotta and what the fuck? It's Christmas.
Did you see there was somebody did a
Mark
Chantix
Ray Liotta
commercial and they did like a one of those filters, so it's Ray Liotta's face over theirs with the mouth. And it's fucking funny because the guy does a fucking fantastic fucking impression of him. And it's him trying to do the commercial, like the outtakes in the commercial. And he's like, they're like, Ray, you know, he's like, hey, fucking quit smoking with fucking Chantix, right? no, swear. He's like, what is this Chantix thing? Well, it helps you quit smoking. Why the fuck would anyone want to do that?
I gotta see that.
Oh, it's funny as a bastard. I laughed like a bastard when I saw it. He's like, oh, and then he's got, yeah, I'm the greatest actor, I'm one of the greatest actors in the world. I can pretend I'm not smoking. He's got a butt hanging out of his mouth. He's like, you can just CGI that out at the end. It's fucking wicked funny.
I'm actually kind of psyched. I want to see Ray Liotta in one of these Hallmark movies.
I know.
Because they're going to bring a turkey out in the scene, and he's just going to flip the fuck out and start smoking right
He's
there.
gonna be the guy selling Christmas trees on the corner. That's all he's gonna be, dude.
So to answer your question, my week revolved around that.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
That's where it peaked.
I think we're going to name this episode Week in Review.
I don't think we're going to get as much fucking punch out of my week.
I feel like I need to move chairs. I guess sit next to Mike. He's rubbing off on me.
Nah, my week went by fast, you know, and I don't know, it just seemed like it went by really fast.
Extremely fast,
Yes, extremely.
according to the outline.
Yeah, but the playoff game, the championship games were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah, it
the
was
overtime. You know, just both games going into overtime stuff. It was good.
It's like an adrenaline letdown for the next couple days.
Yeah,
Fucking a lot of controversy, man. Too. It's great. Loved it.
but I mean, other than that, like I said, started listening to a lot more stand-up comedy. I love stand-up comedy. I listen to it. I watch it all the time, Netflix stuff. I'm always watching stand-up comedy. A few times a week, I'll watch something. But I went on this fucking rampage this week where I was just like, fuck it. Everything I got on my phone.
Anyone in particular?
Doug Stanhope, Patrice O'Neal, Jim Norton.
Patrice.
Yeah.
When Patrice got going, was there anybody better?
Nah, he's funny as a motherfucker.
He got lumped in by the fact that he was a black man.
Yeah.
There was nobody funnier in the moment.
Yeah.
And nobody could riff better than Patrice O'Neal. Period. The end.
Yeah.
End of discussion. And you know what the best part about it is? Nobody debated that.
No.
He's just untouchable.
Yeah. No, he was fantastic.
Smartest guy in comedy.
And then a lot of Bill Burr, about older stuff that I've seen before because I've watched all
It's
his
still
stuff.
funny, though.
And he's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Bill Burr is fucking brilliant.
When you go back and watch these comedians and you think about what they had to do to prepare to be that funny,
Yeah.
it's different.
Yep.
The first time you see it, you just laugh for what it is.
Yeah.
But when you go back and watch it, which I think what you were doing to see how do they get to be funny, totally different perspective.
You see how they build a joke
Mm-hmm.
to a certain point, and sometimes, it might not have a story to the joke might not have a huge story to it. The punchline might be quick, but the way they get there and do it is fucking incredible. And then the fact that then they build off of that to bring it to another one it's fucking awesome, man. I
Jerry
love it.
Seinfeld. I'm not a Seinfeld guy.
No.
Like I never
Nah,
found it
I
very
mean,
funny. I
The
didn't
stand-up
find it-
isn't funny.
I didn't find the show funny either. There was some.
See, I
that
like
were
the
great.
show. I like the show. His stand up to me.
I think the
wasn't
humor, more fit the situations in the show
Yes.
than the stand-up
But I
did.
think Jerry, you got to give him credit where credit is due. He was the one that pointed out that you don't have to be extreme to do comedy. You don't have to be ultra dirty. You don't have to be ultra clean. You don't have to be ultra in the moment. It could be those little things, and it turned into that whole shticky show about nothing thing. But Jerry Seinfeld pointed out that everything we do can be funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's
And
got a
now the
topic
guys that
you can-
are a little edgier are taking that to the next level. A guy like Bill Burr really doesn't describe anything that doesn't happen to anybody on an average day.
on an average day. Yeah.
And we saw Dave Attell a few months back, and Dave Attell's the
love
same
Dave
way.
Attell.
Fucking
Awesome
Dave
show,
Attell's a
man.
beast.
Yeah.
so good.
And Dave Attell literally points out all the things that everybody thinks, but nobody talks about.
Nobody talks about
And
it. Exactly.
he's made a whole career out of it.
Yep.
Part of it's his delivery too.
Yeah.
Is,
Oh, he's so
but
matter of fact.
and that's the thing. Like it fits. It's what you're talking about and how you talk about
Right.
it.
Yeah. That's like
Yeah,
that
a lot of
bit
it's delivery.
when Bill Burr is saying, he's like, I'm sitting there. He goes, my girl takes me. They went to like a fair, like a farmer's market type thing, and he goes, and I'm just sitting there, and he goes, and I'm just thinking, this lady's showing off all her jewelry. He goes, and I'm just thinking, what if I just fucking smashed everything on this table right now? He's like, and I just started throwing it around and screaming. And he goes, and it made me laugh. And I'm starting laughing, and I'm shaking laughing. And my girlfriend's looking at me like, what's wrong? And he goes, and I try to explain it to her. And she just
not
thinks
as
I'm
funny.
fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's not as funny. Yeah, it depends on who.
But I love
explain
that
your
shit.
comedy
Like,
to.
he pulls a lot of that stuff out. Like,
Well, I
oh,
gotta
I was
ask
thinking
Bill Burr,
this.
man,
I was
he's
thinking
fucking
that.
funny.
I gotta ask, you owe me something,
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
and so
Me and Dave. have to
Oh
leave
yeah,
the
do
room.
we need to leave? Yeah. Excuse us.
Are you kidding me? Mike is just going to get the camera. I'd say his phone, but he don't own one.
You couldn't hear Mike spit on both hands.
But is this working towards something? You're watching a lot of stand-up comedy.
Well, it was funny, and I had mentioned this shit, and it started right after this. Next day is when I started doing. For some reason, because I know I owe Brad. I have to do 5 minutes of an open mic somewhere.
Ooh.
So for a long time, I've been trying to write some stuff, and I have a bunch of stuff, but it's all like pieced and chunked,
Yeah, it's
like
getting
little
everything
things,
to fit together
and I couldn't
for
get
5
anything to
minutes.
fit
Yeah.
together.
Well,
and
my 7-year-old can help you with the A's and B's and C's.
Yeah, you know, right? I've been working on it for years. I need 5 minutes.
But it was I think it was Tuesday night. It was Tuesday night. I sat down, and for some reason something popped in my head, and I grabbed my phone, because that's what I do. I just grab it and I type it in the notes of my phone. And once I typed that first line, it expanded from there, and I wrote a shitload of stuff.
Sometimes that's how it goes, man.
Probably like an hour. I mean, just like boom. I wrote probably a good, I would say like like 6-7 minutes in an hour's time. I'm not saying it's
30
good,
seconds of good
and there's a
material.
lot of work. Like there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff that needs to be moved around and worked around. So, but then it got me thinking too. So I started listening the next morning. I was listening to Doug Stanhope. Yeah, and I put that on, and I said, and then I said, you know what? You're gonna listen to a little more of this to see how these guys put these things together and how they build these things, And then, but then it just went from there. Now I'm just on a tear. I got
That's
a
good, man.
shitload of
That's
stuff
good.
ready in the background.
Good for you,
and
brother.
not to go do this. I love it, and I always have. So it just kind of rekindled that. Like I need to listen to more of these guys, and I think it'll help me.
Sparks, yeah.
We need
At
to
the
do
same
like
time.
Chuck and Brad, and we need to have our own comedy show.
I've said this.
If only there were going to be more people in attendance than the 4 guys sitting around the stage.
Yeah.
But I think we
Christy.
could probably go do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Let's just go book some time, guys.
It takes a lot of work to not just be funny, but to
I
make
wanna
it
be-
seem seamless and effortless.
Can I be
Yeah,
the guy
that's
in
the-
audience
that's the
saying,
trick, right?
Fucking you guys suck. I'll be the guy in the audience, just fucking.
Yeah.
Putting you guys
See, my
down.
thing is nobody knows who I am.
You don't
I
know.
don't have a shtick. I don't have.
I know.
I don't have.
Layup.
But yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was easy for Mike.
So for me to walk up on stage and do 5 minutes, nobody knows who I am. Nobody knows what I'm about. I can't spend 3 of the 5 minutes trying to describe who I am and what I'm about.
Well,
to
maybe-
people.
Exactly.
I need to come out of the gate with a fucking joke and make people laugh and do it for 5 fucking minutes straight.
It's a long time when you're up there.
It needs to be joke,
5 minutes
joke,
is
joke,
fucking
joke,
long
joke.
time.
That's what
5
it needs
minutes
to be.
is one joke told with 6 punchlines.
Yes. That's it needs to be laugh, laugh, laugh.
You don't even
Or
get time
it's
for a callback.
No,
Unless-
no.
unless-
There's no
unless-
callback. There's no callback. There's no extended. I can't go into depth of a story. I've only got 5 minutes. It needs to be funny. It needs to hit. It needs to be joke, funny, joke. Joke,
Kind of
laugh,
like
joke, laugh, joke,
doing
laugh.
the outline
Done.
every week. Exactly. Except I know.
And that's so. I'm kind of getting that vibe from it. I kind of know I got to do that, so I'm trying to do that. In all honesty, I probably have about a half hour to 40 minutes of stuff written
2 minutes.
with probably about 3 minutes of stuff that's funny. You know what I mean? No, but there's stuff that's potentially funny. It needs to be turned funny. You know what I
Craig,
mean? Like,
every comic out there has that same problem.
I
It's
have
not just you.
No, like I have
That,
stuff
you know,
written that I
gotta
know
work through
when
all
you
that shit.
when you look
You'll
at
get
it
it.
written down, it's not funny. It's not funny to say it to somebody, but I know I can make it funny. But I just got to figure out how to do that. That's all.
Yeah, the hard part is being around people that are not just going to humor you.
Yes, that's the thing. Is you can't do that. You can't be around people that are just
on a
going to laugh
Friday
to
night,
laugh.
sitting around the table drinking beer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you're not funny. All right, next.
Yep. But
Speaking of funny, Mike, how's your health?
yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about
Speaking of funny, Mike, have you ever said anything like that?
I'm still trying to figure out what the hell you said.
How's your fucking old lady therapy going?
Oh, it's good. Actually, this week I haven't even gone fucking swimming with fucking old people. It's kind of pissing me off.
No,
They suddenly had filter problems.
I'm glad I stopped watching your carpet in the pool.
You somehow out-haired a bunch of old women.
I know.
They break hips every time they try to shave.
I feel terrible, man. I break hips every time I try to shave too, so I guess I'm in the right spot.
And that's just your toes.
Yeah, it sucks. No, I haven't fucking had my elderly aqua therapy because the fucking pool's busted. Because
Well, yeah, 'cause the heat-
all of the fucking town has no heat. Fucking ridiculous.
In Newport,
The
Newport,
gas
Rhode Island
fucking-
went.
They're afraid of a
went out
fucking
of,
explosion. Yeah, I checked. That's good.
Newport,
it's
yeah,
fucked
they
up.
went. All the gas line. They
Yeah,
had a
it's
bunch of
messed up.
failures and stuff.
I
Shut
can't
it down.
believe they have
7,000 people without
Call
heat.
them out. Who's
7,000 people that they have to go to each individual house and shut them down. That
That's
is
National
fucking
Grid,
ridiculous.
by the way. Let's not let them
Yep.
off the hook.
Yeah, they send the bills, they collect the money, but they're trying to pawn it off on their subs, and that's not right.
And that's not right. Yeah.
If you're gonna own it,
corporation, of
own
course
it.
That's
Own
how
it.
they do it.
And the worst part
That's
is
how it
they're
goes.
like, oh, will anybody that needed to leave their residence and stay in a hotel will pay for the room. We'll reimburse you for the room.
And late July, you'll get that.
And late July,
$89.
you'll get that money back. But not only that, then they're like, okay, we're gonna raise the rate 20% in Rhode Island now because we just had a cover
We're
on.
gonna
it.
make it up.
It's
Yep.
all insurance.
Yeah.
Fucking Dave knows exactly how that shit's going, how it works.
Yep.
It's fucking.
It's not just that though. It's like, yeah, they're getting put up and they'll get them food and whatever. But these people are. It was timing as much as anything else.
Right.
The coldest.
This happened when it was 0 degrees.
It was the coldest day of the year.
so not
far.
only are these people without heat, they're out of their houses. All their pipes are bursting.
Yes.
So now they're coming
damage
home
to
to
that
flooded
shit.
houses.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
terrible.
Right, and it's not always covered by their
That's
insurance.
yeah.
So there's more beyond that. So I think part of the bad press is the timing. You know, you mentioned July getting paid for it. If this was July or even April or May, not as big of a story because no one's that uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
No one's dying because it's 60 degrees outside. It's
Media.
0. It's
Yeah,
fucking
it's
0.
fucking 0 degrees. Yeah,
right? And Mike's
exactly.
trying to swim.
No, believe me. Look, dude.
We can't get Mike into his basement. It's
That would
65
probably-
here.
that would probably be his best therapy. Just slide him across the top. You can still do it laying down.
Dude, I spent fucking 6 days in
Like a
this basement
shuffleboard.
on a fucking mattress in front of my fire with no power, no water, nothing,
yeah.
dude. During a blizzard. one
During the
time.
blizzard
It was
of September of 96.
It was terrible. No, it was actually only fucking like
That was
what,
a few years ago.
10 years.
You were out.
something
You were
like
out of
that.
power for days.
6 days,
awful.
man. I was
6
the
days.
last person.
I was
in the
3
whole
days.
fucking-
Am I the only one who's still trying to picture Mike as like a curling stone?
No.
And like the three of us with fucking push brooms in front of him trying to make
Yeah,
his way.
good luck. Good luck with that.
That's one lap.
It's Leslie sweeping the floor to the door that goes outside.
Yeah.
Push harder.
No, this way, guys. This way. Out the door. Out the door. No, this way.
Watching Leslie wear those fucking shoes with the booties on.
Oh shit.
All right.
All right, so we all had really weirdly uneventful weeks that we talked about for 48 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. 44.
What did the rest of the world talk about this week? I'm pretty sure I understand. If I'm not mistaken, it involves a red hat, a white kid, and a brown guy and a drum.
Yeah.
Red guy.
And no one's talking about the black guys.
That's true. It was a red guy.
Actually,
It was a
It was
red
an
guy.
Indian.
everybody's talking about
No.
black ice, dude. Black ice is out there. Watch out when you. What? Would you
I was
say
trying to be
nobody's
racist funny, and you just went weather funny.
Well, we switched. So what do you say?
For the
we
record,
switched?
neither of you were funny.
Damn it. I can't even argue. He's right.
Right. He is right.
No, but the
Douche.
that whole situation was fucked up, and it got spread around the news in so fast. It shot out across
Like
the
6
news.
different views. Like it was so like
But-
of different.
And that's part of the
ways.
crux of, I think, what we're talking about.
What we're
is
talking
these
about.
white kids with
Perspectives,
their MAGA hats,
Yeah.
the older Native Americans having this, my air quotes flying for Brad,
Yeah.
this confrontation in D.C.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And it was instant.
Instantly.
Yeah.
And the whole country stood up in fucking rage over an incomplete story.
over bullshit.
And they
headlines
wanted to
that
blame
should've
the
never
white kids
fucking
with the
done.
red hats.
Yes,
Right out of the gates.
and
Yep.
that's going to happen. You knew
It's
that
gonna
was
happen
going to happen.
forever.
Yep.
It's gonna happen
You know?
till
And
whenever he's out of office.
I mean, yeah, they're kids, so they're going to do their thing, and you know they're going there. The only reason why you're wearing a MAGA hat isn't because you're like, hey, I'm supporting the president. It's like, hey, fuck you, I'm supporting this president.
Or they want to.
That's
be on
why
TV.
you're wearing it.
Or they're on
Yeah.
TV.
Or if you're
It's
these
not-
guys,
it's not.
they're-
It's not a fuck you. Everybody does it. Everyone
No.
does it. Just because fucking whatever. That's what they
Well-
believe in. That's what they want. And yeah, I guess it is a kind of fuck you.
It's a fuck
either
you.
way. Either way.
On both sides, it's
Right.
both
Yeah.
sides. I'm not. I was trying to get to a point where
Right.
it is. It's a fuck you. This is my president. And then you got the people with the "fuck you, not my president" shirts on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's a constant bickering back and forth over nothing. So
I just wonder.
If only it was just bickering.
It's not. It's,
but
it's,
it's
I
not
just
big.
wonder-
It's gotten so much more
I
inflamed.
just wonder
now.
how much of this hatred and fucking divisiveness would be out there if it weren't for the media. If there was no fucking media putting out any stories, either way, left, right, up, down, fucking, how would it be?
Well,
Would
I
we
mean-
be closer together or more divisive?
All right, so
We'd be
you
closer.
want me to erase the last 150 years? I mean, there's
Yeah. You know what I
media
mean?
everywhere. It's not going anywhere.
Right, but the difference these days is media is not just telling news. Whether if you're right, you're gonna fucking lean right and tell bullshit fucking shit on the
know
right.
that.
Left, same fucking thing.
And I think what happened this week was really stupid because, and Dave's got a great point on this. What happened there, not only was it not the whole truth that sparked this, but it wasn't even the whole truth after the fact.
Right.
Okay, what we've got to a point where, yeah, we saw the kid with the smarmy smile, and he's got a really smarmy smile, and I'm
He's
pretty
that-
sure on prom night he's going to be solo.
he's that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that kid, and
Yeah.
I'd
But
probably
that doesn't
wanna
make him
punch
guilty.
too.
He's the Craig. He's the Craig of NTS.
But-
Agreed.
right.
But the tolerant side called him with death threats.
Which happens in every
Based
fucking
off of a
thing like
20-second clip of a 15-minute confrontation
Yeah.
you never saw.
The side that is supposed to be nonviolent, not against all these things, were threatening him and his family with death.
Because
He's-
immediately rushed to judgment based on the fact that he was smiling in the face of somebody that was in his face.
that. Right.
Yeah.
Nobody bothered to ask why was this Native American in his face.
From what I understand, the Native American was walking by him with the drum and everything, and all the kids were already there. So he fucking
Converged,
went to
he
go
was
by,
surrounded.
and they didn't move.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the
everyone
grown
surrounded
man-
the kids after
Grown
that.
man making a statement. It was a separate protest.
Yeah.
Grown man making a statement. A bunch of kids wearing MAGA hats, which admittedly doesn't create the best positive
Right.
image in this society.
Yeah.
But were they actually doing anything to incite a riot?
No,
they were
definitely
not.
not.
No.
They were fucking expressing their friggin' rights, man.
It was a dumb situation all around that got dumber by the fact that a grown man felt like engaging a bunch of high school kids.
Right.
Yeah.
What 17-year-old kid is not a smartass? To start off,
All I know
they
is
all are.
if
Yeah,
I was
of
a
course.
reporter trying to fucking milk that story, I would have
That's
threw a
what- I would've
McDonald's
been-
wrapper on the ground and made that Indian cry.
What the hell was it?
really
What was
had
his
some.
name? What was his name? I just heard his name
Something
the other day.
Phillips.
Oh,
No,
Oh,
yeah.
it was Chief. No, not Chief.
No, he is. He's been around. He's
dead.
He's a huh?
He's dead now.
Who?
Not the guy that was playing the drums.
Mike's
there
talking
that
about the
day. I'm
crying
talking
Indian
about-
stuff.
Crying Indian.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the guy right now. He goes to all these things, which is great.
It's fine.
I mean,
his
whatever.
right.
It's his right to do it, and if anybody's got a fucking right to do it, he does.
Yeah.
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 It's just right. The only the thing that you know what I see wrong about this story is, like I said, it's the fucking media trying to fucking.
Trying to
Yeah.
move it to
If
their
the
side.
media wasn't there, this wouldn't have been a story because there was no confrontation there to
No.
be
So-
had.
Yeah, the
There
reality
none.
was
3 different fucking
Yes.
people. It was that third fucking party.
there
right
were
there.
3 different groups that happened to be in the same part of DC at the same time.
Yes.
These kids were on a school trip. The Native Americans were there for some other reason. And
Their
then there was this
freedom
third
marches
group
they
that
do
you
every
never saw
year.
in this video that incited everything. They were the ones that instigated the students, and the Native Americans were trying to kind of diffuse things. And you saw those 2 groups together, and you never saw the insightful.
You never saw the people that
and that's
that
started.
started,
That's
right?
terrible, man.
And Brad's talked about this group. You see them in, what'd you say, Times Square, right?
Yeah.
They are picking on whoever they can that doesn't look like them.
Yeah, well, they're basically Zionists.
Yeah.
That's what they call themselves.
They're
Yeah,
Zionists.
Basically, they're a Zionist group. You can walk through Times Square at any given point. They'll set themselves up with like a Fender amplifier, and they will stand there and they will yell at anybody walking by. And if you pay attention to them, they will call you out and embarrass you. And if you don't pay attention to them, they will call you out and embarrass you.
Yeah.
And basically, they're only looking for people just like them. And every now and then they get a few. Let me throw a word out: rabble rousers, and they'll get a few people on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm getting edgy this week.
Rabble rousers.
No, the truth is they made things uncomfortable for people for a long time, but nobody has ever stepped on their right to do it.
Yeah.
They've got
And you
the right
shouldn't.
to free speech. That's what was going on in D.C. What we didn't see from the media that Mike loves so much is that they were there right before this got heated. And the only time it seems like the cameras were on, now let's be real, cameras are going 24/7 now.
Yes.
Everybody's got them in their pockets and everybody's filming everything everywhere at every inopportune time. And yet, nobody filmed the beginning of this thing.
No.
Or at least they didn't release that film until after the story was told.
Or it was
Yes.
edited.
Exactly.
It's no different than anything else, and I think that's where Mike was going. Is the media doesn't
Was
report
it?
news.
Was it?
It didn't.
All right, well that's where Mike should have been going.
It didn't
No, that
fit.
was-
It didn't fit the criteria of the story they
Right.
wanted to
They
tell.
were making news. They weren't
making
reporting it.
Yeah,
news.
they were making
That's
news.
the
Yes.
point.
That's the difference.
Exactly. They're not
That's what I
reporting
mean
news.
by
They're-
saying if the media wasn't there, it wouldn't be.
But
this
the media is
fucking
always
story.
going to be there because we are the media now. And I think we made this point on the journalism
We
episode.
drive what they tell us.
No, it's not even that.
No,
We
it's
don't have
everyone
cameras
has a
in
phone.
our
We
pockets.
report.
Yeah.
We report on it.
That's true.
Okay, 9-foot shark swims through Houston flood zone. This was an actual headline on a major news network until somebody realized Photoshop exists.
Right.
Okay, there were not sharks traveling from the Gulf of
No.
Mexico to Central Houston.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it didn't fucking happen.
So,
Yeah.
I
so
saw
what's
Sharknado 3,
changed
you're
though? So
wrong.
what's changed? It's just like a younger kind of fucking people
what I'm saying
that are.
is the idea of journalism where people have to show up on the scene is no longer
Oh, that's
relevant.
totally done
The
now.
scene is there. It's just a question of who's getting the best footage because the cameras are out, the phones are there,
And if
people
it's
are
real or
recording
not.
every moment. There are so many guys that break the law and their shitty girlfriends are already getting their phones out before they're calling their
Oh
lawyers.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're filming the cops
That-
before they are telling people what the cops are doing.
They're
Yeah.
calling their lawyers before they call
Yeah.
the police, firemen, whoever.
Exactly.
Right. And that's the point. So these news is, at least here in this country, is a business more than a service.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
huge.
You need to be first out of the gates with the best story to
not
get the
even
most
close.
attention. Period. And that's what drives this. I
And
think.
if you're a journalist, and I put that in air quotes,
Yep.
You have
if
to.
you're a journalist and you need to be first to the story, where are you going to go? Are you going to go to Bob, who's developing his video, or
No,
are you
you're
going to
gonna
go
go to
to
your fucking
Marcy,
phone.
the girl with the fucking iPhone
Yeah.
video?
Yeah.
Marcy with the iPhone videos got the answer. I can build a story around this, and if I have to retract it later, I will. The internet generation has killed it. You know what the funny thing is? I work in internet content. I've made that very clear on this show. And I've had a lot of people say, you know what, let's post it and we'll fix it later if we have to.
That's such
Nothing
bullshit.
is ever finished. It's only published.
Yeah.
no
And
one
that's
remembers
the worst thing. We
It is
couldn't
the
do that
worst.
when you had to put shit to print.
Because
Yeah.
anyone.
No one remembers the apology. And that's part of the point. Even with
Yeah,
this
that-
story,
yes.
the headlines is not
Of course.
these black Zionists, and you have to put that out there because this was made partially a racial story.
No, it's funny. Is
Right.
when you said that no one remembers the apology, I have a perfect example of this.
It's everywhere. Go ahead.
My uncle got into a car accident, and he was just coming out of high school, like that age. He was probably like 18, 19 years old. Almost died, and. But there was a few other people that were killed. It was a big accident. It was
Yikes.
a bunch of cars, and what happened was they were leaving. There was a keg party in Bristol. A bunch of guys, a whole bunch of kids having a keg party in one place. The cops came. They packed everything up and they moved, and they were going to another place. And then these two guys started drag racing down the road. They had an accident. Now these other cars coming around the corner, everybody starts following them. Like, hey, let's go see how fast they're going. Everybody starts following them, turns the corner, and starts hitting the debris. And my uncle was at the time had a red MG. It's a tiny car, convertible.
Dangerous.
And he hits this and gets thrown from the vehicle a couple 100 feet and ends up in the woods. Almost died. And everybody gets, the cops arrive on the scene, all this stuff. And I remember my mother going to the hospital. I was probably 9, but I remember it clear as a bell. And my mother leaving the house in the middle of the night, 10 o'clock at night, just running out to go to the hospital. And a week later, it's published in the paper with my uncle's name saying that he had a keg of beer and a whole bunch of LSD in his car. And it wasn't him. It was another vehicle.
In front of them.
that was in the accident, and they just mix the names up.
Yeah.
What
That's all
happens?
it
They
takes,
mix the
man.
names up.
That's all it takes.
Now, the person that had it was dead. My uncle's the only one alive, and they're like, so it gets reported in the paper. This is a small town, so it goes around that
it'll
all of a
ruin
sudden
your
my
fucking
uncle's
life,
this
man.
drug dealing crazy guy that had a keg of beer that caused because everybody was drunk. You know what I mean?
That is
Because of his
definitely a
keg
good
of beer.
example, man, of
And
how the media can just...
when it was all said and done, when that was published, it went. The police actually went to the paper and said, no, it wasn't him.
Yeah, but see...
You need to retract that story because it wasn't him. And they did. And they retracted it the next week because it was a weekly paper, right?
Right, but like Dave said, fucking the apology and the retraction, no one fucking remembers that.
No,
They only
don't.
remember the
Back
fucking
page of the
bullshit.
paper.
So this is where I'm going with this. So now I told you I was probably 9. Go skip ahead. Now I'm 16. I'm in driver's ed, right? And I'm sitting in driver's ed.
Craig's
and-
already been driving
and
4 years.
the teacher's flipping through the slideshow, showing all these
the
accidents,
fuck out.
and all of a sudden, bang! Here comes the picture of that accident with the article on the side
And he was
with my
still to
uncle's
blame.
name,
No
still to
shit.
blame on the side. Now, I was like, right away, I'm in class. I'm like, that's not true. I get up in the class, kind of got mad about
That's
it.
something you can fucking sue for.
Well,
What the
no,
fuck?
but I mean, it was all it was the teacher taking
News
clippings,
articles, yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
news
it wasn't
articles
the
out of the
teacher's
thing.
fault, obviously.
But like you said, the retraction, it was printed. It's done. It can't be deleted.
You can't unprint it.
You can't unprint
You
it.
can go to
It's
the
a news-
library right now and look it up, and it's there.
look it up. And if you go to the week after paper, it explains the whole thing. The police actually went and explained, no, it wasn't him. It was this vehicle. It was that. It was this, and that was a big accident. And it was like, I think 5 cars and 4 people killed and, all young, all really young people.
Yeah.
But like you said that, I didn't mean to go on this long story about it, but it was printed. It's done.
Oh, that's good. It makes it
You know
hit
what I
home,
mean?
man. Fucking, that could happen to anyone. Fucking
Yeah.
here or listening anywhere around the fucking world, man.
So now you have
fucked
the
up.
opportunity to not opportunity, but the ability to retract that story completely.
And that's what CNN did this week,
Yeah.
amongst other outlets. I mean, CNN was not the first one to retract it.
But one of the biggest.
They were the biggest.
Yeah.
And I give them credit. And I said that from the outset when we did this outline. I give CNN credit. Since the Trump candidacy, the Trump presidency took place, they haven't admitted much wrong. They've stood their ground and they've been anti-Trump and they've been anti-Republican since the outset. They were wrong here and they called themselves on it. And they said, you know what? We rushed to judgment. We didn't know the whole story.
Yeah.
The thing for me is now I'm looking at everything CNN has done over the last 2 years and wondered how many other times did you rush the judgment?
Oh, tons. And it's not just CNN. It's
No,
fucking
every single
everyone.
one of them.
It's
It's
Fox
Fox.
News.
It's
It's
MSNBC.
everyone.
They all do it.
It's
and
not
obviously
news.
them 3 are the biggest fucking culprits of it because they're the most watched.
And now-
But it happens in local news.
How
It
many
happens
times do they
everywhere.
want to get ahead on a story and push it, not necessarily push an agenda, but to say, hey, look what happened. Like, say, you and Dave are in an argument, but Mike is this notoriously violent guy, right? No, but I'm saying everybody knows. No, but
wish
Mike,
this was a
everybody
video podcast.
everybody knows.
I was just about to fucking jump on Dave's
Mike
ass.
just used every muscle he has
Yes.
to puff his chest out.
Yeah. Now he's not. Now he's gonna.
Okay, now
Show's
I
over,
gotta
he's
go.
gonna take a nap
I
now.
gotta go to sleep now.
And now Leslie's on top with an
No, but I'm
ED
saying-
machine trying to revive him.
I gotta go night.
Mike, Mike's this notoriously violent guy, and Dave starts antagonizing him, and Mike's like, "No, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this." And Mike's antagonizing it, and I'm filming it, and I'm watching, and Mike's busting his balls. I mean, Dave's busting his balls, and then
Yeah.
Mike finally punches him in the face, and the only thing I show is Mike punching him
Yeah,
in the face.
yeah.
You're
It
actually
happens all the
taking-
time.
It happens all
Happens
the
all
time.
the
You're
time.
actually taking it one step further than it was. Nobody in this crew that was
Well,
filmed
no,
was
no, he's
notorious
talking
for
about
anything.
it
No,
happens,
no,
though.
but what I'm saying is it happens. They take the part that
that they want to show.
That they want to show.
The only thing they were notorious
hear,
for.
The part that's exactly Craig. The news you want to hear, it goes all back to
The
that.
only thing they were notorious for was wearing red hats.
Yeah, no, I know.
And they established themselves. Now, this is a Catholic school. It's not even like some Southern Baptist
I know,
thing.
It's a school with a good rep. They're Catholic backed.
Yes.
They were like, "You're Catholic,
Confronted.
right?" And you're like, "No." And they're like, "Put him on the rack."
Give him a MAGA hat and throw him in the corner.
Then they immediately dropped to their knees as if it was an instinct.
Yeah.
Fucking guys. It's terrible.
Spanish Inquisition.
They presented the story and played off of people's like deep seated. I hate to say it, but like racist feelings.
Racist
Right,
hatred.
of course.
That's what it was. The white kid in the red hat is guilty.
Exactly.
That's how they played it.
The worst part is,
just-
I've said it before, you immediately hated somebody you don't even know.
Is
Yeah.
Because that kid, all he did was have a MAGA hat on.
That's
he
it.
You could talk to him, and he could have been like, "Well, let me listen to your point of view." You don't know. That's his ideal.
No,
is that, but maybe he's open to listen to.
He
Maybe
must-
he's
But
open to having a decent
he did that,
discussion with
right?
him.
Didn't some of his classmates start chanting behind him or something?
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Is
He had nothing to do with that.
no, what these two kids behind him started to yell at the Native American.
At the Native American. He had
And
nothing to do with
he
it.
turned around
And told them to quiet.
stop. He
Yeah.
said, "Stop."
Actually, I believe he said, because they're Catholic, he said, "Stop, drop, and kneel."
Yeah.
And the Indian guy was like, doom, 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 doom.
Yeah. Yeah. But even that,
Some guy came with a horn.
you see that picture, and you see that picture, and the kid smirking in his face, and you see the Indian with the drum in his face. Now you can headline that two ways.
Oh,
You
yeah.
could do it a
You can
million
headline that
ways.
Native American beats drum in MAGA
front of- in front of Trump supporters'
in a Trump
fucking
supporter's
face.
face. Or you could reverse it and say Trump supporter obstructs the path of a Native American guy trying to do his
Exactly.
thing.
And that's why writing is so.
You know,
I don't think we
precious.
need to belabor this because we've kind of covered this already. But I'll say this. You know, I'm so sick and tired of hearing Trump hashtag fake news. But there is a basis for it.
There is a basis
course
for
there
it,
is.
but I'm sick of
And
hearing it too.
I'm tired of him harping on it.
Yeah.
It's not the cause of every problem he has. He's the cause of most of the
Yeah.
problems he has.
yeah.
I
His
love
mouth.
him. I'm sorry, guys.
He's talking
I
about it
love
to the
him.
point where you don't want to
love
care
him.
I know
about
you
it.
do,
love him so
but,
much.
but
I love him.
I know you do, but
I know
why?
he comes across as an ass and
No,
shit,
not comes.
but
He's an ass.
Whatever. Whatever. But
He
he's
doesn't come
getting
across
shit
as one.
done. But he's getting shit done. Whatever.
Not really.
listen.
The fucking government's been shut down for fucking. For
Well, what the
30
fuck?
30
He's not. He doesn't.
some days.
He's doing what his voters fucking voted for him to do, and that's what he's
Does that
saying.
not
all right.
work for 33 days?
No, it hasn't. You know
No,
why?
buy 300 McDonald's Big Macs for
It hasn't.
football
It
players.
hasn't
Yeah.
worked for 33 years.
No, but I
because
mean, either way, he's
not a
he's a
politician,
president,
whatever.
and just every single president, he's going to do good things, he's going to do bad
Yeah,
things,
and
and
the-
they're all going to
and
not.
the media
Nobody's
is
going to
gonna
agree with
switch
everything he
shit
does.
But the
around
point
and
is,
stuff.
I think where Brad was going is there's a little bit of truth to everything that you hear. And
Yeah.
there's truth to fake news. It's there.
There's a touch of truth in it.
Yeah.
It starts somewhere. It just doesn't come out of nowhere.
The level of your leadership comes from how you respond to it. And just hashtagging it every week is not leadership.
That's not the way to do it.
No,
No.
it's not. Yeah,
No.
he's not.
This-
He's not a fucking typical president.
No,
we all
no.
know that.
There's right ways and there's wrong ways to do
And
things.
in the future, there's gonna be fucking guys that do things totally fucking way over this, and it's gonna just
Well,
become.
when
that's
I talk
what I'm
about this-
afraid of. Is the presidency is gonna become like a fucking show. Because somebody's gonna come up
Gonna?
next.
He's-
No,
he's
go-
gonna-
I was just
You know
gonna
what I'm
say,
saying?
He's
No,
going to turn
no.
into Terry Crews from Idiocracy.
But it's
Yeah.
gonna be like fucking somebody's gonna one up it. You know what I mean? And then,
I don't know about that.
Just
I
can't-
don't think
we
anybody's
can't-
going to want to try to surpass what he's doing.
Not
right
anytime
now.
soon.
trust me.
I think what's happening here is I think the guy is lost. He's not even being a good leader now. Now, he might not be a prototypical president, but one thing he's always claimed he's been is a strong leader. That's
being-
why he was quote unquote qualified for the job.
Yep.
And he's not leading right now because he's reacting.
He's being
not
to
acting.
me. He's being a great leader to the people that voted
And the people
him
that
in.
support him are not
That's it.
going to agree with what I'm saying.
Exactly.
But I think he's a reactive son of a bitch, and
He
I don't
is,
think a
big time.
president is a reactive job. That is an active job.
It's a proactive
It's
job.
proactive.
Yeah.
And he's not
Proactive.
proactive. He's reacting to things that he
He's proactive. He's
why
got
don't you
shit
go
done.
and change shit instead of talking about it in the past tense?
He's trying to change shit.
Yeah, no,
We need
you're
a
right.
wall.
There's right ways and wrong ways to approach situations. There's things you should get involved in, shouldn't get involved in. He doesn't know. He doesn't seem to know where those lines are. Right? So
yeah.
No, he
And I think,
doesn't know where those lines
you know,
are.
and
He's
it's-
always been like that, though. You look
Right.
at his. That's how he's always
And that's-
been.
that's-
so for people to think that he was going to be any different being president, what the fuck
Well,
were you
that
guys
I'll agree
thinking?
with. You know what you asked for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He-
No.
he's not doing
I mean,
anything
weren't
that
you
is-
guys? Didn't you guys watch 17 fucking people on stage
No,
and him in the middle?
no.
I'm the best. That's why they put me in the middle.
I
You
will
knew
be
that.
the greatest president that God has ever
So
created.
what the fuck is
He
the big
said
deal
that.
about him doing it now?
No,
Why?
I know.
Because now he's the
Yeah,
president.
anybody who's bitching about him isn't
No,
bitching
I
about
know.
him. They're bitching about the people that voted for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what
exactly.
they're doing.
That's what-
Yeah,
that's
it's
what it
that
is.
or they're-
Absolutely. Nobody's asking him to change
No,
his stripes.
it's their
They're
point.
asking the people that voted for him to
To
look at him and go,
change.
"Hey, see what you did."
All right, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh no, that's a
It's like when
huge part of it.
You see your
Definitely.
kid like bending
No,
a
yeah,
paper clip
absolutely.
because they want to put it in an outlet, and you want to tell them no, but these people are like, see what happens.
And nothing's better than the
Maybe he gets
lesson
by.
learned.
Maybe he gets by.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
one of them yellow coated paper clips.
Yeah, maybe he'll be okay. Hopefully, there's not a nick.
So we
in
get a
it.
little
only-
flyer.
It's only a 120. They'll be all right.
Yeah.
But you know,
10s,
I
20s,
guess where I was
whatever it
going
takes.
is he's not the only person though that's approaching situations.
Right, yeah.
No,
it's
there's
everywhere.
1,000
Are
of
you
them.
kidding me?
And the thing is, that's what I say. Like people that blindly follow, Trump or
anyone.
or the Democratic Party, you're delusional.
Or
If
Stalin.
you think
Anyone.
for a fucking second
blindly.
that Donald Trump or the Nancy Pelosi or any of these people give a fucking single shit about you, you're out of your fucking mind.
They
don't care.
No, they want to keep their job. They have a good job from what they're looking
Yes.
at. They want to keep it, right? So, and where I was going is, it's not just politics.
Yeah.
You get into the private sector, and companies are going down certain roads and doing things. They're taking chances, stepping
yeah.
outside of their box,
Yeah.
right? So, for me, a perfect example is something that we've talked about is that commercial we saw from Gillette, right?
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
right.
So Gillette sells
Yes.
razors and shaving cream.
Yes.
That's their wheelhouse.
That's their wheel.
Why would they step outside of that?
I don't know.
I don't
man.
know.
Why
But
the
they
fuck?
did, didn't they?
They sure did.
Yeah.
They sure
fucking
did.
terrible.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't watch the commercial.
Initially, you did.
I've
I
seen
did
You've
it
seen it.
initially. I've seen it,
Yeah.
but I didn't see it initially. And the first thing I did was went to their page. The first thing that really fucking stood out to me was the fact that they said that they've defined culture. Yeah, like
You
They
take
shave-
hair off someone's face.
They shave
Yeah,
every
exactly.
kind of
Do you know
body.
what they did? They created a brand.
not defined.
around-
I'm sorry. They played a pivotal role in influencing culture.
How?
Because what they did was they took razor blades, something that nobody ever thought about,
Yeah.
and they made it something that people actually said, "No, I'm a Gillette guy."
How the fuck
Yeah.
did they influence culture? Let's play back all their old fucking commercials and what they did. Every one of them was a fucking guy in the fucking mirror and a chick at the fucking door going, and that was it. Every
Yeah.
fucking commercial was like that.
No.
How did they change
Well,
anything?
the original ones, she wasn't in the doorway because she was cooking dinner.
Yeah, I guess they did change a little bit. What the fuck? I guess it did. It did. They did change it a little bit.
So
Mike was sanding down her shoes to get her closer to the sink.
Sand down his shoes. Sand down his shoes.
exactly.
Oh my God, I ever heard that one.
If you want me to be the best a man can get, bitch, get out there and go get me some razors. I'll be here sipping my scotch on the rocks.
This man wants to get that turkey in his belly. Fucking cook it.
Wasn't that like the first ad, like martinis and Mach 3s?
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
But I mean, and then they went on to say that, their tagline, the best man can get, they realized it shouldn't be this, blah, blah, blah. And they, in the middle of it, they made a statement, the best a man can be. And I was like, okay, so they're going to change their tagline. They're going to do, and then they ended this whole big thing with the best a man can get. They went right back.
Well, the commercial. Let's talk about the commercial. Dave, you got it. I mean, let's talk about the commercial that aired.
Yeah, they basically made it seem like all men were chauvinist pigs who just want to fight and be masculine and stereotypical.
It wasn't even that. It was
Like,
the one thing that stood out to me, and I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah, that's
because
why
I do that. According to Craig, that's just what I do.
That's what a man does. He takes charge.
That's right.
Shaves his face and takes charge.
That's right. I used the Gillette tonight. But there was one scene in there that really stuck out to me. It was they were at a game and the kids were roughhousing.
Yes.
And they were fighting, and they said, "Boys will be boys." And everybody around this table
Said the same thing.
had somebody say that to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got in scrums, and boys will be boys. And I know you guys did. I mean, we all did that. I'm okay. I'm not a sexist pig. You're not a sexist pig.
No.
Now, listen, I'm not saying that it's okay to beat up another child.
No.
What I'm saying is...
But you were a child at the same time.
Yeah.
You were just fighting a peer over something stupid because you were children.
Right.
Yes.
And not to bring this back to basis sentiment, but if you ever
Children.
watch like Nat Geo channel, you see like child animals fighting and playing with each other.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
That's what
Yeah,
they do.
I know.
Anyway, sorry.
I am not saying
I got
that
pit bulls, man. They do it all the time, every day, every second of the day.
I'd like to think we're better than pit bulls, but not much.
No,
Yeah.
we're not. We're not much
Definitely
better.
not.
We're probably worse than pit bulls do.
Probably because they put out their intentions right out front to see.
Exactly.
And we all know Jerry's
little-
better than us. We've seen
Yes.
how that
Oh yeah,
strapped.
in brain and
Right.
weenus.
I go home with my tail between my legs. Anyway, back to the boys
Problem is most
roughhousing.
of
Yeah,
our
sorry.
tails don't reach
Yes,
between our
right.
legs.
But this boys will be boys sentiment.
But the whole idea was, don't tell your son that it's okay to get in a scrum with the little kid.
Yeah.
You automatically, you have to separate them and explain. You never put your hands on people. And I'm a hypocrite because I tell my kid the same thing.
No, it's the
But
way it
most
should
of the
be.
reason I tell him is because that's what all the other parents have dictated you do.
Yeah.
In reality, what I'm telling my kid is somebody puts their hands on you, you put them back and a little bit harder.
And a little.
Right? Yes.
I grew up. I grew up with my mother, my grandmother, and especially my grandfather says, somebody hit you, you hit them twice.
Yeah, thank you.
That was it.
My parents were the same way. My dad, who I've told you guys was a cop, he was
Don't
in the
ever
Air
start a
Force.
fight.
You don't go out start looking for trouble. You
Yep.
don't start fights, but you defend
Of course,
yourself.
defend-
Yeah.
You
And
defend your
defend
sister.
yourself.
You defend yourself.
Yeah.
And don't take shit from anybody.
Don't take
Yeah.
shit from people.
Okay, somebody puts their hands on you, you put them back.
That's
Yeah,
right.
And that's
but I would have been the first
3.
one. Yeah, I would have been. But if I went and started a fight and picked on somebody, I would have been the first one getting an ass kicking
When you get home.
when
that's
I got
right.
home.
Yeah.
because that's not the way you act.
No.
That's it.
you be a person, you be a man until somebody gives you shit.
Okay,
then
so
you
we
stand
didn't
up for
all come
yourself.
from satanic families where we could just go out and fucking beat
Slap
people up
people
and
up,
fucking
yeah.
kill
No,
people.
being a man
All right,
doesn't
good.
mean that you're an aggressive a-hole.
And
Right.
I
No.
don't-
And that's what this commercial
and
portrayed.
that commercial was completely tone deaf
Yes.
because it
Big
came
time.
from a place where it showed the end result of a bunch of different situations. It never actually showed what led up to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that this is a company that makes products for men. 90% of what they put out, it's not just for men. I mean, they make women's shaving products.
Yes.
But their whole tagline, the best a man can get, is not a sexist comment. It is not a bad comment. But because of what's going on in the world, they felt the need to say, we're going to jump in on this and we're going to capitalize on this. And if you think for a minute that Gillette has any interest in ending this alpha male
Hell no.
personality.
Hell
They
no.
have made their bones on alpha males
Yes.
having the best
all about the
razors
money.
to show
Yeah.
their fucking
Yes.
faces.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's
You're
where
totally right.
that's where the tagline started. The focus has shifted from different parts of that tagline. The best a man can get. The focus was what they can get. The best razor on the market.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to shift it to the best a man can be, like Craig said. And this is about fucking
They're
shaving
trying to be
hair off your
inclusive.
face.
They're
Yeah.
trying to be inclusive.
Not
with
about being a
everyone and
pillar
trying
of
to get
society.
everyone in.
When I
is what they're
heard
doing.
a best a man can get, I was thinking it's the best shave you can get. It's
Exactly, 'cause the
best
razors are the best.
Clean shaven face you can get. That's the best.
Because
a
they're
man can
showing
get.
faces,
Yeah.
and the last I checked, most women aren't shaving them.
No,
and I say
yeah.
most because I'm in
Bristol.
Rhode Island.
Yeah,
There it is.
yeah. We live in Little Portugal.
Yeah.
Sorry
No, but
to
I mean-
everybody.
But and like you said, everything was some dude with a square jawline in a mirror, fucking shaving off his thick beard, like you could almost hear it.
Yeah,
You know what
when
I mean? It was like cable. You know,
with his fucking flannel, with his fucking flannel on and shit. Like Dave, picture Dave, like fucking right there. That is the Gillette commercial.
This razor
right
can
there.
snatch this tree branch right off your neck, and you won't even bleed.
Remember the credit card? They would rub the credit card in their face.
Oh my god, that's right.
And then shave, and then
Yeah.
you know, and then they would do it again. I mean,
that was right up there with the battery
I
on your
never-
fucking shoulder.
thought in a second when they said the best a man can get, thinking, if I shave, I'm going to be the manliest fucking man to watch. If I use Gillette, I'm going to be a badass.
And
You know?
Brad said it's tone deaf.
Yeah.
It's not. It has nothing to do with what
No,
they're selling.
nothing.
And
at
it was
all. It's-
opportunistic. And honestly, I'm going to use a word I haven't used in a while. I think it was predatory. Because I feel like they were getting people who were on the fence about certain feelings and saying, hey, we're a part of it.
Yeah.
We're not with you. I'm sorry. Gillette is not with you.
Any smart person can fucking almost
Yeah, but
like
they're
see
not
through
looking for
that.
the smart
No,
people.
they're not.
looking
No.
for the fucking
Exactly.
sheep who
That's
are
the
at a
thing.
fork in the road and not
Right.
sure which way to
This
go.
this is them capitalizing on the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
This is one comment short of them being like, I almost bought a ticket on that flight that crashed into the Twin Towers on 9/11.
Yeah.
That's
There
what
you
Gillette's
go.
Yeah.
doing.
There you go. That's
no,
a good,
yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
I was supposed to be on that flight, but my
They're trying to
taxi
be a
was
part
late.
of it, and they
Yeah.
never were.
You know, it's funny you mentioned it. We're in Rhode Island, and everybody here
an actual
that
state,
I
by
have
the way.
actually met has all said the same thing. I was supposed to be at the Great White concert. That
Yeah,
night,
at
and
the
I
station,
I
yeah.
didn't go.
Yep.
The station fire killed 100 people that night.
Yep.
If Great White was the biggest band in the world, it would not cover the amount of people
That was supposed to
that
go
were
to that show.
supposed
Hey.
to go
Hey.
to that concert.
Hey,
Mike,
Let
I
me guess,
swear to
Mike.
God, I will knock you out of that
I
fucking
won't even
walker.
say it. I won't even say
You out
it.
of that fucking
Listen,
walker.
listen. I won't even say it. Just ask my wife and my mother-in-law. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
The wife and mother-in-law that you talk so lovingly about.
I love them
The
both.
tickets are still on your
No,
fridge,
actually,
but you
Mike
gotta.
has said this on the
both
show.
death.
I'm going to cut you all off. Mike has said this before.
I'm not even kidding. I mean,
Mike-
whatever. I'm just saying.
We've discussed it. Mike has got an unabashed love for that music.
No, he does.
He was supposed to be.
He was supposed to be there.
and it wasn't really
I
because of
remember
me. It
that.
was because of my wife. Because she fucking loves Great
And-
White,
and-
man.
and
And for so I forget
Shockingly,
why.
they never left the house that night.
No, it was my mother-in-law actually brought us the paper.
the-
I cut the fucking thing out.
The humidity
after the
tipped
show.
68%. I couldn't leave.
My balls were sticking. I couldn't go anywhere. My balls were sticking.
But to get back to the main point, there's this inherent nature that we have to latch
to jump on
to
the
things.
bandwagon.
Yeah,
And to
yeah.
latch on to things.
They went
I felt
full bore.
I felt horrible.
Anybody
man.
who asked me, because I was in New York City for 9/11, and I've mentioned that on the show, but anybody who asked me, oh, well, did you see it? Did you see everybody jump? No, I was like 60 blocks north.
Yeah.
I was not close.
I mean, I'm not saying I was supposed to be there or anything. Oh my god, I missed my flight
you
and
guys
fucking.
thought- no, you
but
thought-
you know,
yeah,
she,
you-
my
you
mother
talked
was
about
like,
going.
"Oh,
You
let's go.
talked
We're gonna
about
go."
going.
Yeah, this and that, and then fucking.
the folks
you know.
talk about that like it was some life-altering event for them, when in reality it was a nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what this is for Gillette. They have no part of it. They don't need to be
Yeah,
involved.
no part of it.
Stick with what you know.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I
mean,
mean,
if
that's
they
not
wanna-
to say we're downplaying the station fire.
Not at all.
no
I'm
way.
downplaying
No,
Gillette
no.
trying to be a social.
Trying
you know,
to hop onto that band.
Yeah.
We're using it as an analogy.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends that were affected by
Yes,
that. And that's,
exactly.
we're certainly not downplaying that. What we're trying to say is anybody who's latched onto it
Yes.
Yeah.
should be cut at the knees.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely, man.
Trying to capitalize on tragedy. And I feel like, in a slower sense, that's exactly what Gillette's doing. They're seeing a shift against the idea of what a man is. And they've gotten ahead of it by saying, well, we're going to be the best a man can be. But then you pointed out the end of that email.
The best,
The best
a
a
man
man
can get.
get.
Said it right back at it.
Should it be the best a person can get?
Yeah.
It's like saying, with all due respect, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any
if
sense.
they want to
We sucked you in, dummies.
It's a back.
Yeah, exactly.
we
If they
s-
want to do something that fucking really matters to people and shit, fucking, you know what I mean? Don't go about it in a fucking advertising way and try to snatch people up. Why don't you come up with something new for these people that you're trying to include?
That's what they thought they were doing.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it, yeah,
But
yeah.
come
Actually,
out.
did
But,
you see
but I'm
the video?
saying like
Did
real
you see the video?
razors. Yeah, I did.
The video was it got you.
It got you,
It was
and you
dramatic.
could tell. Yeah, but still, but
It
why
was also
not? Just,
so well rehearsed.
it was definitely, but why not just like if you want to include people? How about fucking spend some real money and come out with a a line of razors for gay men or gay women or fucking something like that.
Well, gay
And you
men's
can-
faces are shaped just like straight men's
But what I'm
faces.
saying, no, but
And-
what I
and
listen,
gay
you didn't
women's legs
hear
are
me.
shaped just like-
Listen,
No,
you
I know what you're
jackass.
saying. I know what
I think
you're
Mike's saying
saying.
I was gonna
marketing to those
say,
groups instead of
you
marketing
can-
those groups,
Yeah,
yeah.
marketing those groups by getting fucking things that they
Just for the
fucking
record,
like, whatever.
he's not that far off. I don't know if you've been to
No, I
Target
know.
lately.
I know.
But
I know,
even
what-
Gillette's
I know
got-
exactly what he's saying.
Gillette's got a 5-blade fusion
Yeah.
that they sell for a ridiculous price point. They've also got something new called the Gillette 5, which is the exact same head.
Yeah, and
it's
they're
sold
different
for $5
colors, right?
less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're different colors, right?
It's like the difference
And
between
that's it.
Providence and South Providence.
Exactly.
$5 head.
Yeah. $5 head.
$5 head.
But what the fuck? If they wanted to do
Dave gets
like,
line of the night.
but if they want to make a big deal about it, and inclusion and shit, they could put out a line like that or something.
But did you
and-
see my point? The
Yeah,
reason,
definitely.
The reason
It's
they
the
put out the
same-
different tiers of it, it's the
It's to
same
make
product.
money. It's
but
all
they're
about
marketing
money.
to a different economic
Right.
level. They're,
Yeah.
they're,
Right.
They're trying to reach different people. So I see your point. There's no point in marketing to gay men versus straight
No,
men.
but I'm saying something like that. You can have it separate and have it like a certain percentage of the sales go to the LGBT fucking Q
Oh,
community.
you almost had it.
I know.
Almost.
Damn it.
Almost.
Damn it.
You
Damn it.
nailed it on the first take
Oh, I had
earlier.
to say fucking
But I
again,
think what you need to do is actually reverse that. And I think you just need to make
what QR
razors for hair removal for
G.
people.
Yes.
Yeah,
Make
exactly.
one razor, split the
Make-
proceeds.
split. Yeah. Because I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
Brad. What they're doing is here's the five bladed head with the more colorful package. It's the same fucking razor.
exactly.
But this one's $10.
It
And
happens
then
in
here's
every
Here's the same razor in the black and white package for $5. And all they're doing is getting the person that has the $10 to spend on that thing and look and say, I'm gonna get the better one. And it's the same fucking
the
thing.
Same
It
razor. You
happens
mark it
like-
as the Mark 5
just-
and then the Mark Hey.
But it's so funny.
I was actually a big fan of the Mach 3.
But it's fucked up. It's just the whole thing is stupid. And I think what they did was they reignited this because I'm not saying it was dying down or it needed to die down. The movement thing was starting to settle down with the outrage. I mean, there was still outrage, but I'm
It's
trying to have a
not
hard
as
time.
prevalent as it was when it
wasn't
first
as
came
prevalent
out.
when
Yep.
it first came out, and it's starting to settle, and it's starting to get settled. Things are happening, and they were like boosted it right back up to the top again. Like, hey, fuck you, all men are scumbags.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
2 months ago when everybody was a scumbag? It's back.
We remember.
Yeah, we remember. Exactly.
Yeah, we agree with
That's
you.
what I was trying to get. I wasn't saying that it's dying out or anything, but
I think if they end up shitting on the alpha male, then you might as well shit on the beta male.
Yep.
They might as well shit on any
Might as well
type
shit
of
on the
female.
human race.
Yeah.
Why are you shitting on anybody? Why don't
Yeah.
you just make shit that works? And that's exactly what they think they're doing. In their head, they've created a social statement, and they've just created something that separates us further. There's more argument going on about razors than there are about real topics right now.
Yeah.
They have
exactly.
created the social statement. It's just the wrong one going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's embarrassing. And as somebody who used to use their products, I'm actually glad I don't, because I don't want to support it. But at the same time, I don't want to be a hypocrite. If that's the best razor available,
That's the one
I'm
you're
going
gonna
to
get.
use
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
exactly.
You know,
More
it's just-
inclusion, less delusion.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
And with that, we break.
Yep.
So going from one problem that can't be solved by a razor company, we're going to move on to another problem that can't be solved by a 2,000-year-old bullshit company.
2000 is a good estimate. I like that.
2000-ish.
Considering the world's only 4,000 years old.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
And dinosaurs walked the earth with humans.
Now, Pope Francis came out this week and said fear of migration is making us crazy.
Says the South American guy from Italy.
Yeah.
It's not Italy, technically.
No,
It's a sovereign state.
It's a sovereign state
It's a
with their
sovereign
own
state
with
with
their own
30-foot
currency.
walls in the middle of a country.
Amazingly enough, walls separating a country.
Imagine
Right.
that.
Yes, imagine that.
And
They have
big-time
walls.
guards.
And just
and-
how's the immigration problem in Vatican City?
Yeah. I know this little kid's been trying to get out for years.
Oh, I didn't say immigration.
That was an E, not an I.
Oh, I imagine they're building fucking pole vaults to get the fucking out of Vatican.
All their walls are curved in.
You know what's killing them on the pole vault? The wind resistance from all those ropes.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's not the grip on the pole. They got that down.
Some dude wearing a dress trying to get over, and then the gust takes him right
You guys are terrible. You're all going to Vatican City.
You're all going to, what, hell? That's what you were getting at. No.
We've been talking about hell on earth for years. Imagine that. It's right surrounded by pasta.
But he's opposed against the wall. He doesn't want the wall. You know? And ironically, it's from a city surrounded by walls. We've got to that. But he's saying it's becoming crazy, this fear of migration. And he's talking about the caravans that are forming and the people, you know, but I don't know. To me, it's fucked up. They have a whole, he's contradicting himself 1,000 times.
How so?
I mean, because they want all of this open world, like, you know, like no borders, you know what I mean? It's peace. That's
what the Catholic Church would want. They're trying to recruit.
Yeah,
They want everybody available to join the Catholic Church.
Yes.
Nobody in Africa was a Catholic until the Catholics got there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I had more African priests coming on work study or whatever they call it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, in my church growing up, I mean, there weren't that many Sudanese people in Patchogue, Long Island.
No, exactly.
Shockingly enough.
Yeah.
But they all managed to end up in my church, you know, and they're trying to grow the Catholic Church because it's the biggest business in the world. It dwarfs Microsoft and fucking Google and Amazon by a considerable margin.
Yeah.
So I don't,
Every religion on the planet
but
looks
none of
forward
them
to
are as
do
big
that.
as the Catholic Church.
No, of course they're
No.
not as
And
big.
none of them are as far reaching back
Well,
as
because-
the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I mean, well, you know,
And we're all Catholics here, by the way.
Muslims, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. They've been around just as long. Longer.
Yep.
But they don't have they do.
Longer than
They
Christians.
have, there's
not longer
there's
than-
billions of Muslims, but it's the financial power, the political foothold that the Vatican has. I mean, it's been
business.
proven. It's a business, and it's the power that they have is proven time and time again because they can molest kids constantly and get away with it.
They need more countries to move their molesters to.
Yeah.
No, get them out of here and put them there.
And not even making a joke about it. It's the truth.
Yeah.
You know?
It's scary.
But my opinion here, and I've got to throw it in, he denounces anyone who wants to build a wall to keep out migrants as not Christian.
Yes.
But at the same time, you've built up walls by being Christian.
Yes.
Because you say anybody who doesn't accept Christ as their Savior is not welcome into the kingdom of heaven.
That's right. And
Yeah.
that's the only reason they have the walls, because fucking, they would have been toppled fucking years ago. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't have the defenses that they have.
No, he's
Muslims
not. He's not talking about the physical wall.
No, but that's
Well,
exactly
what I'm saying,
what I'm
though, is either way, physical or otherwise, I think anytime you create a barrier between yourself and somebody else and then tell me that you're screaming for inclusiveness, you're a fucking hypocrite.
Of course.
Now, this Pope has done a lot of things right,
Yes, he has.
okay? And he has fixed a lot of the problems with the fucking Catholic Church in terms of their appearance to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
which
the
is
non-Catholic world.
which is why he got a lot of grief when he
He did a lot of bullshit
named the Pope,
too.
because a lot of folks didn't want him there for that very reason.
For that reason, he was going to change some stuff.
When you compare him to past popes, he's been very progressive.
Yeah.
However,
Exactly.
he's still in a very dated system.
Yeah, and then Mike, you had a
Extremely
counterpoint.
Yeah, I
He
don't
did
know.
a lot of shit, you said.
Yeah,
So tell me
not
what he did.
shit. I'm just. That's the whole thing is too much progression with this Pope. I think.
Maybe that's
But
not
dude,
the
it's
right.
2,000 years. You got to progress at some point.
Okay,
But maybe
who
he
says?
doesn't. But maybe he
Who
doesn't.
says you have to progress?
Exactly. The guy still wears a robe and
It's
a beanie
not.
every day.
It's
All right.
Not, it's not like a fucking like an everyday thing,
President?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, exactly. That's another.
All right.
That's another
So
thing.
do
too.
me a favor. Go upstairs, get your Bible that you have in your bathroom,
Yeah.
and go and return it to the church because you can't fucking read that.
What are you talking about?
You're not supposed to read that. You're a fucking common person. You can't read that.
Old Testament now is what you're talking.
No.
about. Yes, you are.
Oh, am I?
Yes. You want me to show you? I'll show you right now.
Anyway,
What?
We're talking about
what I'm
before
saying is,
Jesus
it's
came
got-
and said, "Oh, easy. No, listen, don't do that. Just be good to your neighbors and love them and fucking, you know
No,
what I
the
mean?"
Catholic Church, right up
Yeah.
until the 1500s, you weren't allowed to own a Bible.
You were, yeah. Well, so what? What does that mean? What does that mean?
you
that's
couldn't
not.
own one. You
That's
were-
not in the Bible. That's laws made by men. That doesn't mean jack shit to me.
Read the Bible. A lot of those laws are made by
The
men.
Bible was written by
no
men.
shit. I know it's written by men.
well, okay, but I think the point here, to get back on not listening to you two bitch at each other, came from the fact that you're
just
talking
evil.
about progression. So obviously
Yeah.
we progress since the 1500s.
right, but
Are we at a point now where the Pope should be progressive enough to welcome in gay people to the Catholic Church?
Why not?
no, they
Yes.
shouldn't. I'm saying it as a Catholic.
Yeah.
As like the foundation of it's wrong in our religion. So once
where
you
does it
once
say
you
that?
progress and allow different things, then it's no longer Catholicism. It's no longer that. You lose that.
All right, so maybe
Right?
it needs to
So,
go away.
Well, if it has to go away, then that's a different story.
And
You can't
and
just change
transform
it and
not
keep it the same
and transform
fucking
it
way
to something
thing.
else because the one thing, my biggest argument with that I've always had ever since I was a little kid with the whole, because I was raised Catholic, you know, to an extent. I wasn't forced to go to church every Sunday. I wasn't but my thing is, you know, to say because somebody is gay that they can't, they're not going to be allowed in heaven because they're gay is fucking wrong, because 90% of the people sitting in that church every Sunday
gay?
no are fucking way worse than that fucking gay
Yeah.
person has ever been. And not
Yes.
only that, not
That
only
doesn't- that
but no,
doesn't
but not only
exclude
that,
that,
but
though.
not only that,
That
it's
doesn't
not
mean
your place.
anything.
It's not your place
No.
and it's not the priest's place.
No, it's
or
in
it's
the
not
Bible.
the Pope's place.
It's God's word.
It's God's will. He's the judge.
God's
so
word.
let him fucking decide
Exactly.
when they fucking
Okay.
die. I'm not trying to argue with you.
No, I'm not
over it,
arguing
and
either.
I'm
I'm
not-
just trying to tell
Well,
you.
and I'm
Craig,
not-
you are failing miserably if you're not trying to argue.
No, but I get,
So here's the point though.
arguing fail.
So here's the point. Does this person, this Pope, who's the head of a religious organization, have the standing and credibility to say that this country over there on the other side of the world should not be holding people out of their country?
Never.
No.
Never. He shouldn't even be saying it about his own fucking
He
country.
shouldn't,
because
but he does, and he holds sway over how many millions or even
I
billions
know
of people.
But
There's a problem
he's
there.
I don't know. Whatever.
Listen, I don't think there's any malintent at all on the Pope. However, he's just fueling the fire that we're
he's
raging
just
over here about
way
immigrants.
Yeah.
I think
you know
he's
what it
as
is.
tone deaf as Gillette. To be honest
Yeah,
with
you know what it is.
He's coming in and chiming in on world politics when, let's be real, he's such an insular figure.
yeah.
He has absolutely no business discussing this,
Yes.
but because he
Out of
has the
touch.
sway that you just mentioned,
Yeah.
he's got billions of blind followers who are just going to follow
take
every
it for
word
what
he
it is.
says.
See, you know what? You're right.
And-
You know what's fucked up about this is he leans more left. Obviously, he's more progressive
Compared to the rest of that church.
Compared to
Yeah.
and compared
But
to
not to the
and compared to
world.
past popes. I'm saying.
But
Yes.
not to the
Yeah,
world.
but not to the rest of the
So
world.
and now now that it's like this way, I see it like as pretty fucked up. See, now I'm telling you guys how the way I see things. I see things more to the right. Obviously, you know that.
Yeah.
Go on.
So now I see this, but now I remember Pope John II back in the 80s. He was hardcore right.
JP.
He was with fucking Margaret Thatcher and fucking Ronald Reagan. Them three were like hardcore fucking right.
I remember that
Because he
movie,
got
right?
shot
It
in the
co-
left.
Yeah,
I remember that. Is that what you said? I remember that movie.
I was gonna say I remember that movie. It cost me $19.99.
But everything that at that time I fucking believed in everything he did and said. It's all point of view. It's
yeah.
all perspective.
But
Even when it comes to
that
the
Pope
Pope,
also he was progressive at that time.
So yeah,
compared to
to
the
past
rest of the
popes,
church.
yeah.
Not for
Right, so-
anything, but so was Ronald Reagan in terms of Republicans.
Yeah.
And my thing, but
An ex-Democrat, by
see,
the way.
my thing in the beginning, like
He was a Democratic governor.
you were saying, he's just a man, just like everybody.
right.
He's a man. The priests are men. All those people, and right down to the regular followers of it. So how can you judge somebody?
You can't.
You can't. So why?
And you
How
can't
can you
believe-
say? How can you keep them out of your church? How can you build a wall in front of your church
It's not you
and
can't.
tell them that you can't?
It's
come
you
in?
shouldn't.
It's not that.
It's not you can't. It's you,
should.
should.
Not
Okay.
that.
Do you support your Pope?
No.
You don't.
No. I
So
don't.
when the
Totally
Pope
not. Not
says
this
we
one.
should be building bridges instead of walls,
Yeah, of course, man. But this whole fucking thing about the about immigration.
But to Nicaragua, not to the United
Yeah.
States.
No,
Yeah,
but this
yeah.
whole thing about immigration, fucking, like the progressive side, they always take it to the extreme. Like, oh my God, we want to build walls. We don't want anybody. That's not the case.
No, it's
the
not the
case.
case.
Is to keep criminals and fucking bad people out. What is the big deal? We do it everywhere. It's, you know what I mean? And now all of a sudden,
To allow them to come in an orderly fashion.
Yeah,
Form a
what's the big
line.
deal?
And no, and I
what
get
was the
that.
analogy
That's-
I heard this week? It was
I don't know,
It was
man.
we're not when we build
We
the
are a
wall,
country.
we're not telling you to get out. We're telling you to go to the gate.
Yeah.
to go to the gate. Exactly.
Build a
that, and
wall.
that-
There's going to be tons of
Makes
doors
sense.
and gates to get in, man. Just do
And
it the right way.
I've
What's the
never-
big fucking deal?
It would be great if we lived in a world where you could just freely roam country to country, place to place,
Yeah.
and there were no issues.
But that
that's
would
not
be,
reality.
But that would be a
reality.
world
It's
without
not
bad
reality.
people. That
We're
would
not-
be a world without bad
Right,
people,
we're
and that'll
not
never
there.
happen.
We're
It'll
not
never
there.
happen.
We tried it once, and now we have Australia.
You're right. You're totally right. It was a penile colony.
I don't want to knock anyone in Australia. It turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe we should give it another shot.
Right?
I mean, based on our listenership this week, don't knock Australia.
No, right?
Don't ever knock Australia.
No, but
I'm just
I
my
want to
point.
make that T-shirt right now. We're huge in Perth.
Right.
And that-
The logo's on the back.
But that's the thing is
Upside
that,
down.
but there's that perception, like we going back to the whole media thing. It's the president or the Republicans don't want any Mexicans to come to this, or any immigrants in general to come to this country. No, that's
ridiculous.
not
Wrong.
what they're saying. That's not what they're saying.
course not,
What
'cause
they're
how would-
saying is they want them to. They can come here
Do it the right
through
way
the
we
proper
want you.
channels.
That's right.
And you're welcome. Come on in. You know what I mean?
My
you know
cousin's
what?
husband just finished going through this process.
Yes.
Took him 7 or 8 years.
No
Yep.
shit.
Start to finish. Did it the right way.
See, that's another thing. They need to speed that fucking
I
up.
totally agree.
They
that
need to
needs
That's
speed that
a
up.
whole
That's
separate issue.
bullshit.
There's a right way to do it, and he's done it, and now he is officially part of this country. He's sorry, dude. You're one of us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
dude.
But that's the way to do
fell
it.
for it.
There's a difference between doing it the right way and just saying,
And just,
fuck it, I'm
fuck
going
it,
to
I'm
sneak
coming.
in.
It
and
has
do
nothing to,
it.
look, to me, it has nothing to do with Mexicans or people from Mexico or any of that. What stops a fucking terrorist from anywhere on the planet and going to Mexico, and you easily get in there with a fucking nuke, a little nuke, a fucking, and just sneak up there.
A tiny
you-
nuke.
They got
We call it El
suitcase-
Nino.
They got, they got suitcase nukes, whatever. Even a dirty bomb, nothing. It doesn't matter. Just fucking come up here and do whatever. And you know what? I am so fucking surprised that it hasn't happened yet. Thank God it hasn't. But I am fucking like way beyond surprised it hasn't happened yet.
I mean, that's
Too
true.
many
It's
and
so
bombs
easy.
going off within our own country.
Yeah.
We have our
Yeah.
own people blowing up each other.
It would be so easy for it to happen.
It would
man.
be
It's
easy, but
scary.
at the same time, it wouldn't take out all the white guys blowing up movie theaters and shooting up.
Right.
We don't need
And it
help.
wouldn't stop. And it wouldn't stop these same people doing it from coming down from
Agreed.
Canada.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
It's
this
not
is a worldwide problem about fucking mental illness and
Yeah, and we'll never
Yeah,
solve
And I think
that.
right now, I think the terrorists are actually sitting back and going, you know what? Why waste the money and the
we
effort
got 'em
right now?
scared. Let 'em
Look
fucking
what
do
they're
it.
doing it
Yeah.
to
Look
themselves.
Look what they're doing
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
And that's what terrorism is all
Yeah.
about. Is
I-
fucking
and I-
keeping us scared.
Yeah, I think this sentiment from the Pope is not so much about a physical wall, but more so about just being open to this idea.
Right. That could
Like
be.
Craig,
it
you
too,
said,
yeah.
like,
well, that is.
I don't want anyone in here at all. That's not.
That's not the case.
I think deep down, I don't think. I like to think the Pope is not a bigot.
yeah.
Right? He's like,
Yeah.
fuck immigrants. Like that's.
Yeah.
I think this Pope is trying to bring the world together,
He's doing his best to modernize the Catholic Church.
and it needs it.
It does,
It needs
and he's made some big
time.
steps, but they're
It
still
does.
far behind.
It does need to
You
be
know-
changed big time, but without changing the religion
you
itself.
you need to let priests get married.
Yeah.
You need to let
That
them,
I agree
You need to
with.
let them be human beings. That
That I
wanna be
agree with,
other
and that,
people.
and you know that was nowhere.
there's plenty of other
in
denominations.
Any of Jesus' teachings.
No,
where
I
you
agree,
might get married.
but
Jesus boned a hooker.
Yeah, well, what the fuck? He was a man.
and then the rest of us sainted her,
He was a
Yeah.
man.
Right.
Yeah.
right?
He
And
was
if
a
you
man.
watch the movie with Jim Caviezel, she was hot.
She was
Right.
hot.
And the worst part is she
name is
wasn't.
Mary. Come on.
She,
No.
odds are pretty high.
That's-
She wasn't a
No,
hooker.
No,
but the-
She wasn't.
No.
But they made her out to be because Jesus wouldn't do that.
But
He
part-
would- you-
Unless
Jesus
she was
wouldn't-
hot.
No, he wouldn't.
Unless she was hot.
Hey, do you want to hit Mary Magdalene? No. Jesus wouldn't do that.
Yeah. But and that's the thing.
What
is
would Jesus
a
do?
lot of that stuff is
Not her.
a lot of this stuff
Jesus
is
wouldn't do that
created
unless
by
she was
man.
hot.
There's so many books omitted from the Bible that actually tell probably
They-
more true.
There's so
They
many
fit-
things
they fit
omitted
an
from the
agenda.
Bible. Old Testament, New Testament.
Yeah.
There's fucking over 600 fucking
yeah.
Which go-
commandments. And all we hear about
Which
is
goes back
10.
to what we were originally
There's
talking
a
about,
lot of
perspective.
shit.
It fits
There's
an
an
agenda.
agenda behind
That's
it.
right.
And they're like, hey, we
Oh
need to
my
fulfill
God!
this
Did you
agenda.
you brought this full circle.
That we're how
Yeah, perspective.
and we're more than 38 seconds into this.
And we brought it full circle, so I think it's only right. Can we make fun of the Pope now?
We can.
Thank you.
Hey, hold on. Let me log into his app to make fun of him.
Please fucking tell me you got
Please
it. Come
pull
on,
up the
dude.
roundup,
Oh
my
my
friend.
god, we should have fucking
All right.
at least downloaded the app.
As
to
much
check
as
it
I
out.
want-
I pray the Pope can make this work.
As much as I want to discuss world religion with you guys, I never want to do that again.
No,
Never.
never again.
So
Never. I never want to discuss
You-
religion
you
with
two, you've
A
got
lot of
6
people are going to
minutes.
hear us discuss most of it anyway.
fucking pagans. I never
To
want
the
to
rest
talk
of the
religion
world,
with
this
you
was
again.
a tight and succinct conversation.
yes, exactly.
That was the best 8-minute podcast I've ever listened to.
All right. So speaking of Pope Francis, he's got a new app.
He does.
He's got an app called Click to Pray. And
Yeah.
I'm saying this.
Not click on pray. Click to pray. Swipe right.
Yeah. Click for Pray. That's P-R-A-Y.
Yes. Not P-R-E-Y.
Yeah, this one is Neil and Bob with a K,
Ray.
not an N.
Click for 6-year-old prey.
Neil and Bob is a totally different experience than Neil and Bob.
So, since our Pope, who we've discussed so lovingly tonight, he's got the new Click to Pray app. We thought it would be right to highlight some of the features and modes
Yep.
of the brand new app. So, Craig, lead us off, if you would.
Well, first off, you must be under 18 to download it.
And is that inches?
Yeah.
Must be this tall to ride. I always thought they'd have a view from the cross VR experience where we can finally get to the bottom of that joke where they say, I can see your house from here.
The point of view videos are just a bunch of cowlicks.
That's fucked up, man. Swipe right and swipe left to fucking have a different fucking translation.
shit.
Oh, can fucking translate ball gag in 150 different languages.
It's an app, not the Rosetta Stone.
Hey, the Pope got some power.
Oh, shit.
Mike just created the Rosetta Bone. There it is.
Every Sunday, it automatically charges you $10 for the poor and legal fees.
Nice. I just said achievement unlocked, sore knees and unfulfilled wishes.
Every video starts out with in the name of the Father and the Son and the Son and the giggity.
Wow, what the fuck? I totally do not remember reading that on the outline. That was fucking great. Also, when you download the app, they send you a subscription to Altar Boy magazine and the Pope's new cookbook, 101 Things to Do with Jesus.
The chicken is dynamic.
Oh, shit.
I was going to say, your prayer for a less roast beefy vagina has been received. Share to Facebook.
And they get the confession checklist, so you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, and be absolved of all sins immediately.
Yeah, it's
In
like-
real time.
It's kind of like getting the terms and conditions from Apple.
Yeah.
As long as you accept,
Yeah.
you're good to go.
You're good to go. Yeah.
They've actually taken a tip from Facebook and they're doing their own reverse 10-year challenge. So they can take your picture and subtract 10 years and make you look younger.
It's funny. I thought about the app, and I'm like, I thought it was ironic that they removed the touch feature.
Yeah. Instead of swiping right, you just swipe down and then down.
And up and,
And
down.
down.
And up.
What the fuck? We're all burning in hell, my friends. I can't wait to do a podcast in hell.
I thought I was in hell, and you know what? It's freezing.
They got the virtual reality feature, and it's just like you put the VR glasses on, and it's just a belt buckle thrusting at your face.
Wow, that's terrible.
I just thought it was funny that they have a Christmas Eve Jesus tracker, but they give you the answer. He's not in the house. He's out in the barn. All right, you want to wrap this shit up?
Come on, man. Come on, Brad.
This is going nowhere good.
This is going nowhere good.
Let's bring this shit out.
Yeah.
And then in, then out.
crap.
Just do some housekeeping.
Yeah, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. I think at this point, if you've listened this far, you know this routine. But I'm going to do it again because I'm the only guy here who can do it without tripping on his own fat tongue. If you like social media, guess what? We're on there. It's over at NTS_podcast on all major social media networks. If on any chance you don't find us on one of those networks at that thing, look us up anyway. You'll find us. Seriously, make an effort. Go over to teespring.com. Buy our shit. It's at the NTS Podcast Swag Shop. Or is it NTS Swag Shop? Needless to say,
Swag. Needless to say, Swag Shop.
Go over to teespring.com and check us out at the Needless to Say Swag Shop. We got new shirts coming in. Believe it or not, Brad is working on this.
All right.
We've got a four-headed shirt.
Yep.
So satisfy all four of your women.
Don't push it.
No, exactly. That's what you have to do.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Craig.
Yeah, we got some other things coming out. Believe it or not, Teespring is actually releasing new items. They've got some insulated water bottles, coffee mugs, things like that.
Nice.
And we're going to make sure we slap our ugly mugs to ruin every part of your day.
Yeah.
We'll be
From
there.
beginning to end.
And
Choke that coffee down.
if for no other reason, meat beef.
Right.
beef.
Christy finally shouted back to us this week.
Yes.
So we'll shout back to her.
Yes.
NTSrundowns.com. She has promised us that she's going to start getting on the post-Dave episode.
Oh.
And I don't mean since Dave's been on the show. I mean since we're about to fire Dave.
It was a good run.
I want to give another thank to No Saner and to One Slack Mine and to Rich Wilson for letting us use their song last week.
Oh, yeah, that was
Fucking
cool.
killer exit, man.
Great tune.
Great
Definitely.
fucking
Yep.
song. And with that, I got nothing else to say. Boys, anything else?
I'm ready to wrap it up, man.
All right, then take it out.
Needless to say, we said it.